Right, the referee is out, and City here have been turned around by Oldham, and York City are going to be shooting towards the south stand in the first period here. So both sides will be shooting towards their own fans for the first 45, and shooting towards the opposition fans in the second period. And it's Oldham that have turned York City around here, because it's York City that are going to be kicking this match off. So that in itself is an interesting move. There was supposed to be a full National League programme tonight. We'll let you know how Scarborough Athletic are getting on against Southport in National North. But 2 games postponed. One postponed yesterday between Rochdale and Boreham Wood because of the pitches waterlogged at Spotland. And the other one, Halifax Town against Chesterfield, postponed at lunchtime today. Again, the same reason. 2 grounds that have rugby league played on them at the weekend. I think have really messed those pitches up and not made them fit for football today. But of course, we don't have any issues here. Perfect, the playing surface at the LNER. We'll bring Ian Dunn in just a second. Referee, just making sure that everyone is ready and correct. James Westgate is the referee. Some good news for the referee. He's refereed York City twice in the past, and they were both York City wins. He was the referee when York City beat Chorley here in the playoffs, in the playoff eliminator, a couple of years ago. And he also refereed a couple of weeks before that York City's victory at Farsley Celtic. So hopefully that is a good omen for York City as they start off by passing it around at the back to Amos on this left-hand side. Into midfield it goes to Alex Woodyard. And across it is Davis up front for York City. Long ball down the right-hand side, looking for Will Davis, and he gets his foot to it and manages to lay it off to Ryan Fallowfield. Fallowfield gums in field to Woodyard. Now City going to recycle it at the back. Callum Howe down the right-hand side to Dan Batty. Ryan Fallowfield pushed quite high up on that right-hand side with City in possession. They're trying to ensure, I think, that Will Davis doesn't become isolated up there by himself. Long ball down the right-hand side. Fallowfield inside to Allen to get his first touch. The new signing turns one way, then the other gets across and appeals for handball. Nothing given in the penalty area from the referee. He was unmoved. Still not the chance to bring Ian Dunn in as York City send it forward again with Will Smith, headed away by Oldham. Up to halfway. Decent start this, though, by the team in red. And now Oldham do get their first real touch of the ball. They try and clear their lines, and it comes out to Billy Chadwick for York City on this left-hand touch line. He goes back to Smith, who just about keeps it in play. Smith goes back to his goalkeeper. Decent start from York City.
It has been a very frenetic start, in fact. I think City are really on the front foot, which is what Neil Ardley will want, especially after the last couple of games we've played. He'll want a team on the front foot, having a go at the opposition and giving them something to think about, David, because the teams we've played recently haven't really had to do much to not concede.
When City have possession, it does look like it's more of a 4-3-3, isn't it? But as we suspect, I think when they're out of possession, it will turn into a 4-5-1.
And that is where Neil Ardley, the lack of trust defensively, he's picked a team that can be flexible enough to do that. So, yeah, you're right, David. They will fill in to make a 5. When we haven't got the ball, it'll be a 5. When we have, it'll be a 4-3-3.
Yeah, City messing around at the back, almost give it away, but they just about get away with that. Callum Howe gives it to Ryan Fallowfield. It's a team that at least has got a bit of legs up top.
Yes, well, you know Davis is going to run his heart out for the team. Chadwick will, and I'm guessing the young lad will do likewise as well. You know, he's a fast young lad. He'll want to impress people. He'll want to put in a good debut. So, you know, if you're a midfielder or a defender, you've got 3 players up there who will at least chase a lost cause, or they should do. And
Oldham have gone straight to a 4 at the back here, Ian.
Yeah, they've
realised already.
Yeah, and they were obviously flexible enough to do so. Who's in here?
Ball over the top for Will Davis. Goalkeeper's come, met him, flag goes up.
I think
rubbish. Shout some supporters behind us, but I think he got that right. Yeah. Yes, they've quickly switched to the same formation they had at the weekend here now to match York City up with a 4 at the back. It means that Liam Hogan, the captain, is playing slightly out of position at left back. It means that Mark Kitchen gets pushed that bit further forward into midfield on that left-hand side.
Interesting that, see, Oldham are doing well. They've got the momentum. They can be flexible. They don't have to be rigid and stick to a formation. And again, that's something I'm sure Neil Ardley would love to have available to him.
Flicked on towards the edge of that York City penalty area. City try and clear it. Goes into touch on the far side for an Oldham throw-in front of the Oldham fans. Level with the edge of that York City penalty area. Still goalless. BBC Radio York. Decent atmosphere though.
It's great seeing that end full of people, isn't it? You know, full proper football league atmosphere. These two sides. Hopefully one day we'll meet again in the Football League. Yeah,
the West Ham for the York City block though, down this near the corners, probably as empty as it has been all season, I would have thought. Probably off the back of having 3 home games in such a short space of time.
Yeah, this stand is that we sit in there is quite full, but yeah, you're right. West Stand's a few empty seats over there.
Oldham wanted a free kick there. Mickey Mellon certainly did. Cleared though by Amos. That's curled out of play. The referee hasn't spotted it yet. He does now. And that'll be an Oldham throw-in on halfway. And Gary Brabbin's out there with his black cap on. And Mickey Mellon saying there should have been a foul. The referee disagrees. And Will Sutton gets ready to take the throw-in down the line in front of the visitors' dugout. The fourth official having to tell Mickey Mellon off. Gary Brabbin actually having to go and get Mickey Mellon. So they've got two people stood up in the edge of that technical area, and they've both just gone out of it onto the verge of the pitch. The fourth official wasn't happy. City give away the possession. Hogan plays it round the corner. Ryan Fallowfield gets a good block and is able to clear. Liam Hogan was one of the pundits when City were live on the telly down at Boreham Wood in January. The Oldham Athletic captain playing at left back. He did jokingly suggest that York City could still make a push for the playoffs as part of that broadcast.
When was that?
6th of January, Ian. It's not the way it's worked out.
Not really, no. But hey, if we win every game between now and the end of the season, I think we'll have a chance. That was a joke, by the way.
Oldham take the throw and get across into the York City box. It deflects behind. First corner of the game goes to the visiting side. 0-0, 5.5 minutes gone.
See, Neil Ardley was unhappy with giving away a corner there, City. It looked like a passage of play that he could have given a throw in rather than or challenge the player that's putting the ball into the box. Not tight enough. They'll need to be tight here. There's a lad on the edge of the box, number 3, David. He's on his own.
That's Mark Kitchen. Corner about to come in from the far side. Outswing it to the near post.
There you go.
Well, read well by York, so they scuffed their clearance there. I think it was Chadwick who scuffed it clear. Going to come back in though from Kitching. Stays on his line as Sykes Kenworthy. An Oldham man goes to ground in the box. Referee tells him to get up. Clearly looking for a penalty there was Garner. Nothing happening. It goes and touching the far side of the field. Have you calmed down a little bit, Ian?
I'm getting
Mark
there.
Lawrence in there.
Did I look a little bit fanboyish?
Well, but you got it completely wrong as well, didn't you?
You texted me mid-interview there, by the way.
He was telling me when he played in the Premier League and the Premiership. I was like, it was Division 1 back in the day. It went straight over everyone's head.
I was making it clear for the youngsters in the room that he won the Premier.
He didn't win the Premier League.
Call the Premier League.
He didn't win the Premier League.
It
never existed.
Also, it was much harder to win.
He won the Division 1 title. To be fair, it went over Mark Lawrence's head, who said, I've never played in Division 1.
Yeah,
I'm afraid you have, mate.
Yeah, no. we have taken into account people's theories on the leagues. Yes, Premier League champion, 18, 19, 20 times. Yeah.
Throw in far side of the field for York City on halfway. Down the line it goes from the York City captain Ryan Fallowfield, headed clear by Oldham. Smith gets his head to it. Headed clear this time by Oldham onto the head of Fallowfield. And another header now from Hogan, a header from Fallowfield. Very scrappy, Will Davis header. Get it on the floor, was the request from behind us. Now Oldham come forward on the right side with more pace. Got on the back of Callum Howe. Sykes Kenworthy though, good starting position. Comes out the edge of his area and is able to just shepherd that behind for a goal kick.
So we know number 3, is it Kitching?
Yeah, Mark Kitching, former York player.
Yeah, we know he's got a bit of pace about him. Because he flew past Callum Howe just then. Thankfully his touch wasn't great, but a little warning for City. But it's what you'd expect from a team that's doing well, wouldn't you? Expect them to have 1 or 2 players that stand out. That's the difference. You can fill a lot of positions with hard workers, but if you've got 1 or 2 really quality players, that can be the difference you need to make an impact in this division. Well,
you think about that game back at Boundary Park, that was York's 10th, 11th game of the season. Oldham's the same. They'd only won 1 game before that night at Oldham. But since Mickey Mellon's come in after Steve Thompson, of course, David Unsworth was in charge at the start of the season. That was Steve Thompson's first game. He got sacked after a defeat at Bromley 2 or 3 days before York City came to town. They won that game, went in a decent run. Mickey Mellon came in. They're now top of the away form guide. They've won 8 of their last 11 away games, losing just 1. They're only 1 point off 4th.
Wow.
They really have had a response from a new manager. That new manager bounce that we often hear that just seems to evade York City.
I seem to remember us talking about their players that night. They looked good. They were in a poor position, but the actual players that were there they looked decent.
Square ball cut out by Fallowfield, very narrow there, York City. Everyone dragged across this side of the field. People are wondering where Kurt Willoughby is. He's now gone out on loan. I think it's to Ayr actually in Scotland, so he's no longer at Oldham at the minute. He came on in that game. but has struggled at the level, not scored all season for Oldham Athletic in the few appearances he made for them. Appeals from the Oldham fans at York City have run that ball into touch the far side of the field. Alex Woodyard and the referee disagreed, so it's going to be a York City throw-in as a steward goes to get the ball from the empty block of seats. Hoping to have a bit more eagerness from some of the ball boys and ball girls tonight than we had at the weekend. I've actually been and spoke to the guys down there at the side of the pitch tonight that are organising them. They said they weren't here at the weekend as that ball's flicked on from Will Davis and it was left to someone else to organise, but they have had a word. So hopefully when the ball goes out of play, if York City are chasing this game or need it returned quickly, it won't be as lethargic as it was on a Saturday afternoon. Amos gets ready to take the throw in directly in front of us. A scout from Grimsby Town sitting directly in front of me here, keeping an eye on him. Danny Amos. He gets it through to McLaughlin down this left-hand side. To Chadwick, who's got her on the back. Can he get a cross in? He's held up near the corner flag, forced away from goal, pulls it back to the edge of the area to Dan Batty, who's encouraged to shoot. Blocked in the centre of that goal by the former Southend United defender Sean Hobson. And then Oldham come forward on this left, but Fondup can't keep hold of that, and then it's going to run all the way back downfield, and that'll be an Oldham Athletic goal kick. 0-0, 10 minutes on the clock. Ian Dunn. Yeah,
it's been a fairly even start, David, to be fair. I think City have started off on the front foot. It looks so much better with the team. He's having a little bit of a go as well. And he'll hardly be learning what his players can do this evening. Can they carry this on for another 80 to 85 minutes?
Well, this atmosphere was my biggest hope actually tonight, that it may get the fires burning in some of those York City bellies. Now, of course, if York City were to go behind, that could go the opposite way. But while it's still 0-0 and York City is definitely in this game, I thought that could be a real big positive point for them tonight.
Yeah, you called it on Saturday. I think you're right. You get that little bit extra spring in your step. But
Chadwick tries to play it through to Davis. Misses him and almost found its way through to Allen, who made a really good darting run off that right-hand side. But goalkeeper got there first.
Some people might think I'm mad when I say Chadwick in a good team will do good things. That is an example of what he can do. He split that defence open with a ball that we haven't seen a York City player attempt in 10 or 11 games. That's the kind of player Billy Chadwick is. For me, that's what we need to get more from him, you know, and then you get your runners committing to attacking, and he will look $1 million, I'm sure, if we get that sort of play embedded in the team.
Hogan lets that ball go out of play for a throw-in, far side of the field, halfway inside the half. Oldham with defending.
Just a first impression, I mean, it was like lightning, the young lad there, Charlie Allen. He looks especially quick, which at this level, David, if you've got someone with pace, it is going to cause defenders problems. You know, they've got to be good footballers as well, but pace scares players.
Oldham have got room, though, now on this right-hand side to come forward with the full-back Sutton. He decides to put the brakes on. Interestingly, gives it infield to Sherrin, and that's a pretty poor and sloppy pass back out to this near side from Ollie Hammond. City are able to regain possession. McLaughlin, Chadwick, he goes into the centre of the park for Batty for a big up and under over the top. The ball has to be, wait for it to come down there, does Allen. It falls kindly though to Davis. He can spread it back out to the right hand side to Fallowfield, but he has to wait for the ball. Didn't have much power on that pass. Now to the right-hand side, it comes again to Batty, crossing position all the way to the byline. He keeps hold of it, little backheel to Ryan Fallowfield to put the ball in instead. It's too deep, and Chadwick has to come across to pick up possession once more on this left-hand side. He gives it to Amos. Amos, ball around the corner to McLaughlin, controls on his chest, faced away from goal, tries to turn his man. Lays it off to Chadwick. Chadwick back to Amos. Chadwick, nice little give and go to Amos, who's got her on the back now. Cross into the box, not a great cross, hits the back of an older man, and they're able to clear. But it's good play from York City.
Brilliant football.
Fondup can't hold it up for the visitors, gives possession straight back to Billy Chadwick. Chadwick on the left again. Gives it to Amos, tackle comes in on him, appeals for a free kick. Referee says no, he got the ball. Alex Woodyard, Chadwick, back to Woodyard. City enjoying the majority of possession, you have to say, in the opening 13 minutes. Chadwick cross into the box, a decent cross in, but there's no one there at the back stick. They're not going to win many headers in the box, though, Ian, are they? It was a good ball, but I can't see us winning many in the Oldham penalty area from when the ball's in open play.
No, but I think he did try and whip it. He tried to put a bit of whip, got maybe a little bit underneath the ball, but that has got to be the message. Whip the ball in, and you have got a chance, because it doesn't matter what height you are against a big striker. If that ball's whipped in and you're a decent striker, you'll make that darting run ahead of him, across the face of him, and get a glancing header, as happened to us on Saturday.
And then there's a bit of a set two in the centre of the park between Dan Batty and Joe Garner. Handbags in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
And the referee gives the free kick to Oldham.
Sorry, David, really good football from York City from an attacking sense. The football they're trying to play, and it's coming off. And Chadwick, Amos, Paddy McLaughlin getting forward there, which is, like we've said, he's better attacking, is Paddy.
That's not a great touch from Hogan, out of position as well. Gives away possession to Paddy McLaughlin. He gives it out to the right-hand side to Allen. Allen, again, this pace, he does have pace to burn. Into the penalty area, right-hand side, goes past his man, gets the cross in, deflects, but no one there at the back stick. Would have been a tap-in. They haven't cleared their lines, Oldham.
Wow.
Back to McLaughlin on this left-hand side. That's what pace does for you.
Absolutely.
Amos, back to McLaughlin on the left. He goes back to Dan Batty. Batty, encouraged to shoot, takes on the shot, and it's just over the bar.
Don't mind this. This is brilliant. We haven't seen any of this for weeks. And City are turning it on here, David. They really are. I just hope they get that first goal because they don't want to get the stuffing knocked out of them. At the moment, they're playing such good football. And you just said, place. The Oldham defenders didn't dare commit to Charlie Allen there because they know he's quick. Simple as. And it's almost like he's got a free run at the defender. They will not go, especially in that penalty box, they will not go near him.
Much better. I'd just keep feeding him. Keep feeding him the ball.
100%. Him and Chadwick. Chadwick's on fire. He hasn't given the ball away yet.
Headed clear by York City.
And Davis. They know they've got a willing striker in Davis up there as well who'll run. You know, it's still a hard-working team, but it's got that injection of pace and guile.
Garner tries to find and link up with Fondup. Blue shirt still have it at the edge of the York City penalty. Fondup round the corner. It goes to Kitchen. Kitchen gets across into the box. Sykes Kenworthy's there and can pick it up. In front of the massed ranks of Oldham fans behind that goal.
This is the one thing at the back of Neil Ardley's mind, and that will be, you know, we mustn't concede because it would knock all the spirit out of the team, you know, because we're attacking, suddenly we let a goal in. It doesn't look that way at the moment because the defence is solid, the football is front foot football. The opposition haven't had a chance to have a go at us yet.
Will Davis does well for York City. Wins the ball off the centre-back, Raglan. Into midfield it goes. Spread across this left-hand side, but it's behind Amos. He has to go back to collect, which he does. And then plays it down the line to McLaughlin. Infield to Chadwick. Went for the give and go. McLaughlin claims he was blocked off. There was nothing happening there, though.
But good football again. Little 1-2s around the corner. Things that we haven't seen at York City for a while.
Goalkeeper goes back again to Charlie Raglan. Another man who's got lots of Football League experience, Charlie Raglan at Cheltenham. It's not a great ball forward from him, though. And then McLaughlin's bypassing the centre of midfield. Out to this right-hand side it comes to Ollie Hammond with his blonde hair. He gets past Amos too easily. Oh, I'm not sure that went out of play, but the referee's assistant was right on top of it, and he said it did. The older man doesn't agree. Touch and go.
Yeah, well, you know, they get or you don't, are they? Simple as that, and sometimes they go for you.
That's an enlightening comment. You either get them or you don't, Ian.
Tell you what, that is going to make corner balls, surely.
Brilliant, that.
That's what you're paying for. That's what you're paying the big bucks for.
Exactly.
That sort of insight.
Still on my next line. Goals in the National League so far this evening, not many of them. Oxford City 0, Eastleigh 1. I think we can start saying goodbye to Oxford City. And Fylde 2, Solihull Moors 0. Oldham clear their lines, or try to clear their lines, but under pressure from Will Davis.
Yeah,
Hobson's put that into touch.
That's all because City are pressing. They're on the front foot. They're not letting the opposition have time to dawdle on the ball, pass it around us and pick a pass out. They're at it. Can they keep it up is the big question, because they're putting a lot of effort in here.
Ebbsfleet have taken the lead now against Woking. Two teams in the bottom four. Woking, well, they really are on the mire with their form in the last 3 or 4 months. And they trail again in Kent. Big up and under from Hobson. Onto the head of Will Smith. Now there's a foul in midfield, surely on Dan Batty. Yeah, there is. Wrestled to the ground. Referee gives the York City the decision. Will that be an easy decision for it to be Crooks that drops out of those 3 centre-backs, do you think, for Neil Ardley?
No, I don't think so, because I think Adam Crooks has been really good. Oh,
good diagonal ball from the free kick, just slightly overhit from Amos, and the goalkeeper comes and gathers right on the edge of his area. Yeah,
it would have been an easy decision. It's more like it's tactical. It's clearly.
No. I mean, if he goes to a forward, it would have been an easy decision that he was the man who was going to drop out of those 3 centre-backs.
I think Callum Howe, you can't leave him out because he wins almost every header. He's so vital to that defence, and Will Smith, he's solid, isn't he? So that partnership works at the moment. I'm sure Crooks or Smith could play alongside Callum Howe, and Crooks is the unlucky one tonight.
Batty to Ryan Fallowfield. He goes back to the man we've just been talking about, Callum Howe, on the edge of his box. And he has room to come forward. Fallowfield. Under pressure there as he tries to send it back to Sykes Kenworthy. He goes to ground. The referee gives the free kick. And he penalises Tom Conlon. There's a quick word. In fact, it might have even been Mark Kitchen over that far side. It was. And the York City goalkeeper is going to come out of his area to take the free kick short to Howe. He goes across the right hand side, plays it long down the line. Davis holds it up well. Lays it off into the centre of the park to Alex Woodyard. He immediately sends the ball out to this near side to Amos, to Chadwick. Chadwick tries to turn his man. He's asking a lot of himself here, and the Oldham man does get the better of him and tries to lay it off to Fondup. Fondup's going to be pulled down. He stays on his feet, but the referee says there's enough pulling the shirt there from Woodyard. Free kick to the visitors, 0-0. Coming up to the 20-minute mark here on BBC Radio York. All our platforms. No Harrogate Town this evening. They're next back in action at the weekend. We'll be down at Barnet in North London on Saturday for York City's next fixture. That ball comes into the York City box and nicks off a York City head, and it's thankful they did. It's had a free man at the back stick, gets the thumbs up because whoever put that cross in from the far side, and it goes behind for Oldham's second corner.
Yeah, good a switch of play from the Oldham centre-back right across to the left-hand side, and Oldham just reminding City that they're here too and they're prepared to attack us as well.
Corner kick from this near side this time. And here the York City supporters and the Oldham supporters trying to get behind their side. In swinger, into the 6-yard box. Sykes Kenworthy has to palm it back over his bar from inches underneath it.
That was a vicious corner, right under the crossbar.
Neil Ardley spotted something at the far stick here as well. I don't know if there was someone supposed to put a block in there and they didn't, but he wasn't happy with something. Again, he's pointing out that Mark Kitchen is all by himself on the edge of that D. Yeah. The ball was to break loose.
He's just called his
just told Chadwick across, hasn't he? Or was it Batty across? And it comes again, second one, same place. Oh, and he's missed it. Free header, 3 yards from goal, and he's somehow put it over the barrier, and what a chance for Oldham to take the lead.
That is a truly vicious corner. I mean, that is really hard to defend against. And Tom Conlon whipped in left-footed right under the 6-yard, right on the 6-yard spot. Box.
He's got to score Garner there, hasn't he?
It's a bad miss. 6 yards. He's 6 yards out.
I think less than that.
Yeah, maybe even less. It's just gone off the top of his head. Someone in the Oldham bench needs to remind him that they do have some shampoo in the changing room.
Yeah, he could be mistaken for a certain eye done.
I had to skid it off the top of my head. Still be landing at Stoneacre.
Then John Lewis gets a round of applause as he comes out to do some warming up down this near side. York City get play back underway with a sloppy pass from Sykes Kenworthy to Howes. Control lets him down, and then it's just anywhere will do there, as Davis can't do anything with it, and there'll be a throw into Oldham. Just got to make sure they don't get nervy, York City.
Yeah, because they'll feel they've had the better of the opening exchanges. I think City have been the better of the two sides. But we know that Oldham are a good team, and City will be aware that Oldham maybe haven't quite got into the stride just yet, so that'll be the play in the back of their minds. You've got to be alive. It's football. You've got to be alive for 90 plus minutes.
Ball goes into touch once more on that far side of the field via Ryan Fallowfield. It'll be a throw in to the away team on halfway. Tony McMahon and Neil Ardley are called back to the bench by Neil Cox, who spotted something. He's pointing it out to them both. Throwing down the line for Oldham. The referee tells an Oldham player and Alex Woodyard stop pulling and pushing at each other. 6 of one, half does the other. So he allows play to go on. City come downfield and it's cleared by the Oldham goalkeeper at the edge of his box. Woodyard puts it again into touch on halfway. Throw in once more to the visitors. Still 0-0 just past the halfway point in this National League fixture. The Oldham fans now that you can hear as the York City supporters take a bit of a breather away to our left. Woodyard tries to clear it and then he's taken down on that far side. That looked like an awkward landing as well for Alex Woodyard.
Yeah, well, he made sure he got the free kick. I think he's probably...
It's Garner as well, who's going to be talked to here by the referee.
As he's thrown himself to the ground, it didn't look comfortable at all.
It's going to be all right as Woodyard. The referee is just going to talk to Garner. Oh no, Woodyard's tried to get up and then slipped again.
His back, it just fell up.
Yeah, just told him he's back, isn't he?
Yeah.
But he's up. and looks as though he'll be fit to carry on without receiving any treatment. Referee's just checking he's all right. And it's a free kick to York City up towards their defensive third. The referee's been a bit pernickety here and telling Callum Howe to take the ball back 6 inches. Which he did, and then quickly took the free kick. Cross to Smith. Amos. Infield to Woodyard. Needs someone to make themselves available. Gives it to Davis. His touch wasn't the greatest. Tackle comes in on him, but it falls kindly to Batty to send it out to the right-hand side. To Allen. He flicks it over his shoulder to Fallowfield, then gets on his bike again down that right-hand side. Gets it back from Ryan Fallowfield. Just keeps it in play. Cuts in field now. Charlie Allen. Over the top he goes, looking for Paddy McLaughlin, who's burst forward. Hobson, though, is hoping he's going to be able to just shepherd this ball out of play, which he does, and that'll be a goal kick.
Yeah, good play by the young man, but he could have come across if he looked for that forward ball. I'm not going to knock him for that, though. He's been told to be aggressive, attacking, and get the ball forward. You know, he could have come out here, I think, on that occasion to Billy Chadwick, but he looked for the through ball to Paddy McLaughlin. Didn't quite come off on this occasion. Wouldn't knock him for it. Try it again. Keep asking questions of the opposition.
Goalkeeper gets ready to take the goal kick. Matthew Hudson. Apprentice at one point to a Jordan Pickford, he was. He was at Preston back in the day. Amos gives away possession there. Cleared though by Smith. Nodded forward again by Oldham. Woodyard can't get much distance on this header this time. Batty has to hook it over his shoulder for Davis, who's not going to win much there against the big centre-back. Oldham clear their lines onto the head. It goes of Callum Howe. Again, the ball spending a lot of time in the air in the centre of the pitch. McLaughlin tries to lift it over the Oldham defence and turn Hogan. And the defender goes back to his goalkeeper. He's going to have to control a bouncing ball in his chest. And he does really well. And sends it long downfield. Fondop flicks it on. It's going to be picked up as well by a blue shirt on this right-hand side. Amos comes across and intercepts. Puts it into touch for a throw-in. 0-0.
Yeah. And City. Clearly, Oldham's equals at the moment.
Down the right-hand side. Come Oldham. Chadwick's done well to get himself in there and win possession back for York City, and McLaughlin's given it away. No, he hasn't. Woodyard's helped him out a little bit there, but he's been forced back to his dead ball line. He's got to be careful not to give away a corner. Scuffs it down the line to Chadwick. He lays it off to Amos, and he does manage to clear his lines. Davis can't do anything. He slips as he tries to turn, and Hobson plays it back to his goalkeeper. Just looking around the press box here, there's a John Helm here to our right-hand side.
Oh, legend, John Helm.
Yeah. Well, to our left is good old Roy Butterworth, the best dressed man in non-league commentary. 83 years old. Still going strong for Oldham Athletic.
What about you in 10 years' time?
He's got more hair than you and me, you know. To come forward down this left-hand side to Oldham. Up towards the edge of the box. Cross comes into the box. He's through his... Oh, the offside flag's got up. He's missed it. It's a terrible miss from Joe Garner, who got behind the York City defence. So it wouldn't have counted, but the flag did go up. Maybe that's why he was in acres of space.
Yeah. Plenty of space to... Hey, still messed the opportunity up, but yeah, clearly offside.
Fallowfield sends it forward to Allen, who tries to give him the return ball, but it's intercepted by a blue shirt. And they come into the centre of the park. Hammond goes back out to the left-hand side to Hogan. Hogan infield to Nathan Sherrin, the former Harrogate Town midfielder. He sends it out to this right-hand side, and it comes now. That's too deep. That's pretty poor. Ironic cheers from the York City supporters as Will Sutton completely misplaces that pass and overhits it by a good 20 yards, and it just sails over the bar and into the Oldham fans behind the goal.
Yep, just what George Sykes Kenworthy will be happy to see. Really awful cross, wasn't it?
So Frank Rothwell's here as well tonight, the Old Athletic chairman, fresh off the back of his crossing across the Atlantic. Second time in the last 2 or 3 years he sailed single-handedly across the Atlantic. I think it's for Alzheimer's research. Raised lots and lots of money.
How old is he?
Frank.
How old is he, David? Is he?
Franco is 72, 73 off the top of my head.
I sailed the Atlantic.
The Canary Islands across to the Caribbean.
Wow.
You won't be able to sail across the Ouse, would you?
I wouldn't be loath to even try.
That'd be funny. See you with two oars. You just go around in a circle, wouldn't you? I can imagine now.
The closest I've come to that, I went on with the little red boats.
Go on the little water park at Scarborough.
Went on York boats. It was fantastic. Nearly crashed it.
Drop ball far side of the field for a foul on a York City defender, and Callum Howe is able to send it downfield. Trying to turn the Oldham defence. Nodded into touch near the corner flag. And that'll be a York City throw-in coming up to the half-hour mark. Still 0-0, BBC Radio York. Despite it being a vastly improved performance from York City, Ian, it feels exciting, or more exciting. They've yet to test the Oldham goalkeeper in any way, shape or form. How do they go about doing that?
They keep asking questions, and they keep on that front foot, and they keep pressuring the Oldham defence, because that's what good teams do. They do it for 90+ minutes, and City have got to get to that stage. They've done it 29 minutes. They've looked threatening. That's, you know, compared to recent performances, this has been like night and day. So they've got to keep doing it, David, because there'll be the time when they do it that they break through the Oldham lines and they get the chance.
Fallowfield takes a throw in, controlled in his chest by Davis, couldn't keep hold of the ball. Interception comes in. York City have another throw in. Interesting that these are positions they could put a long throw in, but York City are choosing not to, and Will Smith's just staying back on halfway.
Yeah. He's
again, because he doesn't have anyone who's going to win a header in the opposition box, apart from possibly Callum Howe, and he didn't want to leave himself short at the back.
They can't both go forward, can they, for a throw-in?
So that is one thing as well that the change of formation has done. It means York City can't take a long throw.
True. So they've got to rely on other methods.
Down this left-hand side to Amos. Amos forward to Davis. McLaughlin looks down the line, there's no one there. Has to hold on to possession, and then he loses possession, and it's a throw-in to Oldham, directly in front of us. 0-0 BBC Radio York. Seems to have calmed down a little bit in the last 5 or 6 minutes. The early exciting moments. Just dropping back into the memory bank, because there's surely a foul in midfield. There is. Batty. A clash in the middle of the park. York City get given the decision.
And this is the kind of period of the game, David, where you expect Oldham have settled down. They've sort of ridden what sort of the mini storm that City have produced. Now it's time for York City to be clever, concentrate, don't get caught out, because Oldham will feel their way into the game. Of course they will. They're a good team, but that's when City have to be the most resolute. Neil
Ardley not happy with something down there. Big discussion with the fourth official, pointing things out to him. The fourth official just nodding along nicely. Yes, Mr. Ardley. Yes, Mr. Ardley. I didn't make that decision, Mr. Ardley.
Yeah. That's got to be the worst role in the football.
And now Gary Brabin's having a go at the fourth official because he thinks that Amos has stolen 2 centimetres. Free kick taken, cleared by Oldham. Back to Alex Woodyard as the deepest man for York City in the centre circle. He sends it long, wide right, looking for Allen. I have to say though, Ian, that is a pointless ball, because he is not going to win Charlie Allen over that far side, anything in the air. They need to play it to his feet. Comes across this near side now to Chadwick, just outside the penalty area. Left-hand side's got no one to pass to, has to go back to Batty. Batty swings the ball into the box, easy again for the Oldham centre-backs to head away. Fondup lays it off. Now they can come forward down the left-hand side with Kitchen. Putting Fallowfield under a bit of pressure is Mark Kitchen. He's still got hold of the ball over that far side. City getting players back, and then they win the ball back. The referee says no, too physical. Free kick to Oldham.
Yeah, it's a silly tackle. I think it was Woodyard. Totally missed the ball and took the player, in my opinion there, David. And the referee's got that right again, I'm afraid.
He would love to have a Deepu Akinyemi in good form tonight, wouldn't he? Or a John Lewis in decent form that he could play up front, because this is screaming out for a big man up front if you're playing like this.
It is, but we're not launching the ball high, are we?
No, but there's just lack of options. If you can't go long, you can't accept pieces. There's nothing there.
Yeah, but that's the difference of play he's trying to play. He's trying to play into feet, trying to play more intricate attacking football. And if it comes off, it'll look good.
Oldham take the free kick up towards the edge of that York City box. Headed away by York, sent back in for a second time. Oh, that's not a great headed clearance. From Charlie Allen. He got it completely wrong, but it ended up screwing back to his goalkeeper. Was that 50p head there?
50p head. Tilborough head, yeah. My word.
It might have been Dan Batty, actually. They're doing Charlie Allen a disservice there. But whoever it was, they got away with it. No one from Oldham took a chance. It goes from one end of the field to the other. latest scores in the National League. Files still leads Solihull 2-0 as the goalkeeper keeps hold of the ball. Ebbsfleet still 1 up on Woking. Altrincham 1 up now at Hartlepool. Gateshead 1 up at Kidderminster. Southend 1 up at Maidenhead. Eastleigh 3 up at Oxford City. And goalless here. Goalless in the other games that are taking place. There's 2 postponements, remember, at Rochdale and Halifax tonight.
Well, Oxford are conceding for fun, aren't they? And
ball goes into touch this near side. That'll be a York City throw. There's an Oldham man gone down though after a clash just outside the penalty area. The referee's just going to check on his welfare. It's a number. Is it 22? Is it Conlon?
Tom Conlon. Yep. Yeah. Good.
Sorry, 32.
Oh, no, it's 26.
No, it's 26. Ollie Hammond. So it's going to be a throw into York City. The fitness guy there for York City was up when that stoppage in play. Ball, all the drinks to the side of the pitch have said, we're going to use this as our opportunity to call everyone across for the drinks that they normally have around the 35-minute stage.
We should have a bit of a stake on this, shouldn't we?
We should. Yeah, we'll see if it happens in a minute.
38, I reckon.
Headed clear by Smith this time. I suppose he needs something to do, though, Sykes Kenworthy, to be able to go down, doesn't he? He needs to have at least had the ball. He's not the ball for a few minutes.
Yeah, which is a good sign, isn't it, for City?
So if he gets he might just one into his arms, he'll clear, and then when the ball's up the far end of the field and the attack comes to nothing, he'll go down then. As if he's hurt himself for the goal kick.
Yes, yeah, a little strain.
Conlon, he's not happy again, Neil Ladley turns away, not happy with the way York City are defending these set pieces or setting up to defend the set pieces. Ball forward, York City man goes down the edge of the area, head injury, referee says that's a free kick. And there's nothing at all wrong with Will Davis there. He's bought that free kick. Every side does it, but it is so easy now for sides to get free kicks by pretending they've picked up a head injury. Yeah, I wasn't sure. It looked like a flailing arm. Nothing's going to hurt him, but a flailing arm maybe hit him in the head, and he's gone down. He's made sure he's won his team a free kick. Gary Brabin again. The fourth officials had to go across and have a word. Mickey Mellon's also there, he's laughing. No idea what the former Luton manager there said to him. Were you at the game where he got sent off at Bootham Crescent? Gary Brabin? Oh, it'll be 15 years ago and then got into a bit of bother.
That might well have been, actually. It might well have been 15 years ago.
Far side. Chadwick, good ball to pick out Ryan Fallowfield. Into the Oldham tried penalty area. At least he tried to, but the tackle came in. Wasteful. Batty gets a good ball in, but again Hobson unchallenged in the air. Too easy for Oldham to clear their lines. He goes up to midfield to Fondup, who holds it up and does well. So he gives it off to Garner. Now they've got men coming forward. Ball forward, sent down this right-hand side, and Fondup got in the way of it. It allowed Amos to come in, who then smashes it into the crowd. It hits a supporter on the head. He apologises, completely accidental. Fondup got in the way of his own side's break there. Thankfully, because I think, is it 26 Hammond would have been free had the ball reached him down this left-hand side. But City, they whip the ball in there. You don't need a big man to put pressure on the defender. And I'd just like to see Will Davis or Chadwick just get across, just put them off. You don't know where the ball's going to end up. But a free header, it's almost, that shouldn't happen. Sharon in midfield to Conlon. Conlon goes to Hogan, gets it back. Does Tom Conlon from Port Vale, Peterborough. I suppose what you do get with experience, lots of these players are playing the Football League, but they're coming towards the back end of their career. They're not at the end of their career, but they've got less of their career to go than what they have going forward. And that may be why York City just need to try and feed Charlie Allen, because he's not seen the ball in the last 15-20 minutes. Yeah, we need to get him back in the game. But that's where Oldham are good. They've seen that he's probably an issue, and they've managed to stop the ball getting to Charlie Allen. And City have got to have to counter that somehow. Who's he not happy with here? Callum Howe again, I think. It's one of the defenders, Neil Ardley, bellowing out. He dropped the ball off from the throw-in, but the defenders are all flat. Howe goes long down the right, looking for Davis. Puts pressure on the Oldham man, but it's easy again for them. And Davis says, I need more over the top. I've got a man right up against me. The Oldham clear their lines, up to Fondup, controls it on his chest, tries to buy a free kick, referee's not having it. Comes out though to Hammond on the right hand side, he plays it down the line to Fondup. He's got a man inside him if he can get it through. Held up near the corner flag, plays it back. Now to Nathan Sharon. City got everyone back behind the ball, bar that lone striker, Will Davis. Fondup into midfield to Conlon. Conlon down the right hand side again to Hammond. Hammond's got an overlap, instead he turns and puts the cross in, not dealt with very well by Smith, but he manages to find a red shirt. There's a bit of luck in there more than good judgment. And City give away possession with McLaughlin to Hobson, who's burst forward from the centre-back role. Down the right-hand side again, everyone in that half that York City defending. City, everybody back behind the ball. They're going to recycle it across on the left-hand side now, Oldham. Hogan inside to Kitchen. Kitchen cross from a deep position to Fondop, who's found a bit of space. Controls his chest, hits the York City ham. It's just outside the penalty area. It's definite handball, and it was just whether he was inside the box or outside the box, Amos, as he hit that outstretched arm. The referee says it's outside. The Oldham players aren't complaining, so I think he's got it right. It was outside, but this is a free kick in a dangerous position. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, I think was it Will Smith? Was it his arm? I think.
I thought it was Amos, but it might have been Smith.
Yeah. Either way, it was clearly a handball. It was just, is it in or outside the box? I think you're right, David. The Oldham players are arguing, so they're taking this. But this is a dangerous
it's virtually on the whitewash, though, Ian.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Just left. Sorry, on the right-hand side of the penalty area, just past the near post, as we're saying. So virtually on the edge of the D, the corner of the D.
Hopefully too close. Sometimes it can be hard to get the ball up and over a wall into the back of the net. This is me being hopeful, obviously.
Well, Will Sutton's over the ball. Looks like he wants to take the free kick. Not scored yet, Will Sutton, the full-back this season. He's over it. So too is Ollie Hammond. Sutton takes the free kick.
Yep.
And he just tried to chip it, and with more dip than any power, and it just sails easily over the top of the bar and onto the gravel behind the goal.
And imagine Will Sutton would have rather that free kick, as daft as it sounds, 5 or 6 yards away from the goal. It was too much to get it over the wall and dip into the net.
They must have someone who can take a better free kick than that, Ian, unless he got it completely wrong. So it was a two-yard run-up, and he just tried to dink it.
Yeah. He had no way of getting it up and over the wall in that space.
Davis drops back in to get it, appeals for handball, it then fouls kindly to Woodyard. Will Davis gets it back, just under 5 minutes to go in this first half, still goalless on BBC Radio York. Amos infield to Callum Howe. Woodyard now to Fallowfield back to Howe. Remember, York City shooting towards the south stand in this first half for what it matters. I always think it gives you that little bit of advantage shooting that way in the second half, but they're not going to have that here. That comes off an Oldham head down the right-hand side, and it's going to be kept in play, but he's put that back into a dangerous area, almost across. He tried to stop that ball from going out for a corner to York City, but Oldham do manage to clear their lines. Back to halfway to Woodyard. He gives it to Callum Howe. Howe to the right-hand side again to Ryan Fallowfield. Back to Howe. Howe down the line, looking for Allen, who's got away. It's Woodyard who's burst forward. Thought it would be Allen over there, but it's Woodyard on the right wing here. He comes in field now to Allen. On his left foot, takes on the shot, and it's not too far over the bar. It's 3 or 4 yards over the bar. The goalkeeper knew he still hasn't had anything at all to do in this first half, but at least he thought about having a shot there, Charlie Allen.
Yeah, it was good. He's cut onto his left foot, and he's not afraid to have a little pop. Confident young lad, and why not? He's coming from such a level. There's never really trouble in the goal, but again, I'm not too worried. City have had more shots or attempts than I've seen for quite a few weeks, to be honest, David. None of them have come close yet, but you got to keep trying.
Yeah, we need to score to win games. That's what York City need to do, but it is better.
Much better.
It is better. Eastleigh have got a fourth. They're not having any issues tonight scoring goals at Oxford City. Maidenhead have equalised against Southend United. And Fylde are now 2-1 up against Solihull Moors. I think that's one back for the visitors on the Lancashire coast. Ball goes into touch far side of the field in front of the Oldham fans for a York City throw-in. Just 2.5 minutes to go in this first half. Ryan Fallowfield takes a few seconds. Now throws it down the line. Flicked on by Davis. Oldham clear, onto the head again of Callum Howe. Now McLaughlin heads it forward. An awful lot of this game at times has been spent in the air with the people just heading the ball backwards and forwards. And it's gone all the way through this time to Sykes. Kenworthy starts to be a little bit of movement in the crowd around us as people make their way to the toilets or to get, I presume, a hot drink. Forward to Davis. Davis to Batty. It is another chilly night. It's a bit chillier than I thought it was going to be looking at the forecast.
Yeah, it's dropped, hasn't it?
It's a bit of a breeze as well. That's a bit of a hopeless ball down the line there from Ryan Fallowfield. Will Davis went short. Ryan Fallowfield went long. And it runs all the way through to the goalkeeper. who gives it to his centre-back.
Yeah, the game's sort of plateaued a little bit here, hasn't it, just prior to half-time.
There's a lot of endeavour, as always, but I'm afraid the quality is now lacking, I would suggest, as we approach half-time from both sides. Long ball over the top, looking for Davis, headed away by Oldham. And then Hobson on the stretch, because Chadwick seemed to back out of that, and the guy behind it says, go for it. And I can understand why, because he seemed to put the brakes on a little bit too early, deciding that he wasn't going to get there. Well, if he'd given it 100% and gone for it, and he's now looking at the heavens, I think he maybe could have got there, Chadwick.
Yeah, he's not fancied that. You've seen the big centre-half come through, about to clear it. And sometimes
that's not what you want to see here.
No. Sometimes you've just got to put your body in there. It's going to, if you get hurt, you get hurt. But when you pull out... you can hurt yourself.
But there wasn't
more.
even a half-hearted. That was I'm not going there.
I'm not doing that. Yeah.
Throw in.
In my day, they've been brought off for that. Trust me.
Well, do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if someone like Neil Ardley, with his Wimbledon links, if he had the options, you'd be brought off for that as well. Oldham come forward, edge of the area. Good tackle comes in on Garner. On the edge of the box, Amos, brilliant tackle. And then there's a bad tackle in the centre of the field on Woodyard. Yellow card's out immediately to the Oldham man. We'll let you know who it is in a second.
Yeah, he's nailed Adam Woodyard there, Alex Woodyard. The Oldham player is walking away with his head held low. He knows he's done it. He's late.
Yeah, it's number 32, Tom Conlon. He goes into the book. He's up though, he's Woodyard. He's fine. We've played the 45. The fourth official's not even got his board ready down this near side. We've played the 45. It's because Gary Brabbin's in his ear again, complaining about something. Living up to his billing, I think, down there.
Complaining we've played 45.
We've played 45. The fourth official still isn't aware what's going on. Gary Brabbin is still talking to him.
What's to complain about? It was a terrible tackle. I assume that's what he's complaining about.
Fourth official's not realised there's not going to be anything. Maybe he did. And we referee blows after 24 seconds. Goalless at half-time. Oldham should be leading. Gilt-edge chance missed from Garner. 3 or 4 yards out from the header. He ballooned over the bar, but he should have buried it into the back of the net. But don't let that confuse you. It has been better from York City without them really threatening the Oldham goal. The Oldham goalkeeper could have had the night off. Charlie Allen in the first 10 minutes down that right-hand side caused a bit of panic, put a decent ball into the box. There was no one anywhere near it as it drifted out this near side. It's been better, Ian, bits and pieces, but I think Neil Ardley will still want more, and if they're to win, they need more in this second half.
Absolutely, yeah, but what I will say is that City have been much better tonight than what we've seen, and it will have given Oldham something to think about. Not necessarily because we've threatened the goalkeeper with attempts on target, but they'll be aware that City are having a go, and they're aware, and that is enough sometimes to put the opposition defence on the back foot a little bit, and that's when you punish them. Then City have got to keep asking questions. They're doing all right. Can they ask more questions of the goalkeeper?
Yeah, they're combative. They're putting themselves about, Sharon, but Neil Ardley will need more if they're to get the win that they vitally need. So far, so good, though, I would suggest. At half-time, it's York City 0, Oldham Athletic 0.
Thanks, David. Thanks, Ian. Second half commentary to come here then on BBC Radio York. Get your comments in, 81333 on the text. Please start your message with the word York. Tweet us at BBC York Sport or on WhatsApp. It's 08000 321 333. Please start your message with the word York. How do you feel, basically, after that first 45 minutes if you're a York City fan? If you're a Scarborough Athletic fan that's still with us as well, goalless coming up to half-time in their game this evening in National League North at home to Southport. Get your comments in. A few from a little earlier. Yorkshire KK predicted it'd be 3-0 defeat, followed by Kieran, who said it would be a 3-0 win for York City. So that cancels each other out there. Thank you very much. Keep the comments coming in. Let's have a look then at how things stand across the rest of the country. Not many yet by the looks of things at half-time. City pretty sharpish tonight with that whistle. In the Premier League, Manchester City 0, Brentford 0 is the latest score. In the Champions League, these were 8 o'clock kickoffs. Inter Milan 0, Atletico Madrid 0, PSV Eindhoven 0, Borussia Dortmund 1. Into the Championship, Cardiff 0, Blackburn Rovers 0. Ipswich 3, Rotherham 1, Plymouth 0, West Brom 0, Southampton 0, Hull City 2. In League 1, Cambridge 1, Bolton 0, Oxford United 1, Northampton 1, Reading 0, Port Vale 0. In League 2, Wimbledon 0, Crawley 0, Gillingham 0, Stockport 0, MK Dons 1, Wrexham 1 and Walsall 2, Morecambe 0. One game in the EFL Trophy, Blackpool against Peterborough, that's goalless after half an hour. And into the National League, it's Fylde 2, Solihull Moors 1. Aldershot 0, Barnet 0, Bromley 1, Dagenham and Redbridge 0, Ebbsfleet 1, Woking 0, Hartlepool 0, Altrincham 1, Kidderminster 0, Gateshead 1, Maidenhead United 1, Southend United 1, Oxford City 0, Eastleigh 4, and as we've heard, York City 0, Oldham 0. A few games off because of waterlogged pitches. Halifax against Chesterfield, Rochdale against Boreham, not because Rugby League left it in a mess, as David suggested before kick-off, because there weren't any matches played on those pitches yesterday. But the games are off because of waterlogged pitches. And Wealdstone against Dorking is also off tonight as well. Because in the FA Trophy, there are 2 matches tonight in the 5th round. Wealdstone are leading Hendon 2-0 and Bishop Stortford are taking on Colville Town. That's goalless. In National League North, Alfreton 1, Banbury 0, Boston United 1, Darlington 0, Brackley 1, Kings Lynn 1, Buxton 1, Gloucester 0, Chorley 1, Tamworth 0, Curzon Ashton 1, Peterborough 1, Farsley Celtic 0, Blythe Spartans 0, Hereford 0, Chester 1, Scarborough Athletic 0, Southport 0, South Shields 0, Scunthorpe 0 and Spennymoor Town 2, Warrington Town 0. 1 game off in that division, Rushall Olympic against Bishop Stortford, again because of the involvement in the FA Trophy of Bishop Stortford. So that's how things stand across the country nationally. We've mentioned Scarborough against Southport as being goalless in National League North. Elsewhere in the Northern Counties East League Division 1, latest scores: Amthorpe Welfare 1, Selby Town 0, Parkgate 0, Harrogate Railway 0, and in the League Cup, Tadcaster Albion 2, Silsden 1. You're listening to BBC Radio York Sport. It's 23 minutes to 9.
Georgie Spanswick at breakfast.
BBC Radio York.
We're hearing some lovely stories of how couples met, and I'd love to hear how you met your other half.
We met through one of my friends.
Do you remember your first ever date?
He took me to a drag act where I promptly fell asleep, stood up.
We had a blind date lunch.
It was good, wasn't it?
It was good, yeah, and that was it.
Why is she so special to you?
Because we're just so compatible, matched and equal, and that's a beautiful thing to be.
Oh my word, compatible, matched and equal. Anyone else got to? And there I'm going to have to blow my nose.
Georgie Spanswick at breakfast.
Weekdays from 6.
BBC Radio York.
Sam on Twitter says a win would be a huge result tonight for York City. Come on, City. And on WhatsApp, Matthew says he's cheering on York from North Carolina. He says always a great time cheering on the Minster men. I think 1 or 2 others might disagree with you there, Matthew, but fair enough. And Graham's been back in touch in Cyprus. He sent a picture of his screen and he's got 5 things going on the screen I can see. And it says he's keeping his options open by watching 4 games: York, Scarborough, Tamworth and Kidderminster. Hopefully one of those will come good for you this evening, Graham. Keep your comments coming. We'll have a look throughout the evening at what you're saying. Now, as we've been hearing, York City completed the signing of 20-year-old midfielder Charlie Allen on an initial 1-month loan from Leeds United yesterday. Tom Hill commentates on Leeds United's under-21s for that club and sees Allen play regularly. He's been telling Tim Steer a bit about what York City are getting.
He is an up-and-coming player that in the last few years has really burst onto the scene for the Leeds United under-21s. He's, 2020, a recruit. We didn't see much of him. When we did, quite a slight winger. Only a young boy. Didn't really get a chance to impress. But it was last year that we really got to see what he could bring to an academy setup. Now, of course, that's a very different thing to the situation he's about to find himself into. But what he will bring is abundance of pace. He's electrifyingly quick. He's been so good for Leeds on the transitions, staying out wide, connecting the play, and at times last year really carried the team forward just by easing them out of pressure with a long run down the line. He's got a few goals in his locker, and the main thing, just a really hard-working winger. It's a big opportunity for him, and I think he'll, for the next few weeks, certainly he'll relish.
Predominantly a winger. Can he play elsewhere across that midfield or attacking line, do you think?
Yeah, recently he's made his name as, I guess, what you would call a traditional number 7 out wide. He has played both, wide left. He can play 10. He has played there a couple of times. He played central just last week against Luton and got a goal where he nipped inside. He's a player that naturally with his pace, out wide is where it suits him, but he's not afraid to cut in if he has to. Just the other week, he was there against, opposition. They made a mistake. He'd cut in off the right wing into a central role, got the ball. Before they knew it, the ball was in the back of the net. He's more than happy to drift. I would say, from what we have seen as a commentary team with Leeds, out wide is where he's made a name. But he's only young. If a manager asks him to do something else, of course he's more than capable to adapt. I just hope he gets some minutes. It's a very big step up, isn't it, to what they call senior football. So, fingers crossed, wherever he gets put out there, he can do a job and make a name for himself.
And that is the big thing, isn't it? Because it's often spoken about that step up from academy football, under-21s football, however you want to phrase it, to senior football. It is a big jump. From your perspective of seeing him play, do you feel like he's ready to carry himself and cope at a club like York City in terms of National League football in particular? Yeah,
I think Leeds is, for the listeners that don't know much, Leeds are in a bit of a transition period now where a lot of their, I say this quite lightly, senior youngsters that he's still only 20, he's still a very young man, but he's probably thinking now, I'm playing academy football. I want to try myself at a higher level. It's a perfect real time for you. They played 24 times last season in the 21s. He helped them get promoted to our highest level of academy football. He's played a few times this year in and out of the team as other players have been given a chance. So I guess from his perspective, where else can he go? This is an opportunity, albeit quite short. But I think he can. At the end of the day, this is where, from our perspective, we're watching them for Leeds. Just because they play for Leeds doesn't mean they are going to make it, and it's highly unlikely they'll stay there forever. So this is a great window opportunity for him to add the pace to any team that he's got. I think he'll excite the York fans certainly, and hopefully, the form he's shown in academy football in front of goal, he can transition to the senior men's team.
You can probably imagine what I'm going to ask about in terms of physicality. We know the National League is obviously a physical league. Can he carry himself? Can he hold himself in that respect?
Yeah, I mean, it's very easy for me to sit here and say, he probably could. I think it might take him a couple of weeks to get used to it. What I would say about him is, he's pretty confident in himself. He's not arrogant. The interviews we've had, he loves the game. He plays with a smile on his face. He also plays with a bit of a chip on his shoulder as well. He's not afraid to, now and again he will get a yellow card for dissent, for slowing games down. So it's not as if he's a fresh-faced youngster that's a bit naive. Physicality-wise, he probably will look a little bit smaller compared to some of the other players, but I'd like to probably turn it on the head to him and say, if he doesn't understand the physicality, are the National League going to be able to, the level going to keep the pace he's got as well? So he could, while he might struggle with a 50-50 duel, down the touchline, if he can get the ball in front of him, I'd love to see someone, try and keep up and compete. So while he might be weak in one area, he could certainly bring something else to the party as well.
And I guess another big advantage he will have is that he already knows the LNER Stadium quite well.
Yes, very much so. It's a lovely playing surface, We know from our days of watching rugby league in York how much of a benefit it is to play at that arena now, and it's a big pitch. He's played there an awful lot. So yeah, it's not as if that's the situation. But it's, I guess, going to be overawed by. You'll probably like to see it a bit more fuller as well, because the youth games, while they are, I guess, attended quite well for a Monday night or a Friday afternoon. Yeah, he's hopefully going to relish the occasion. He's played in front of some big crowds as well at Leeds with some of the 21s football. We've had 8,000-9,000 at Ellen Road, so that shouldn't be something that unsettles him. And he scored a fair few goals there, so fingers crossed all that continues.
BBC Radio York Sport, Tim Steer there speaking to Tom Hill from Leeds United under-21's commentary team about Charlie Allen. Charlie Allen, of course, playing for York City this evening. Thank you for your comments. Pete in Beverley says, goalless at half-time. I expected Oldham to be winning, so come on, lads, let's get some goals. And Simo, thank you for your comments. Simo says, am I watching the right game? There's a team in red and blue playing football quite well. If it is indeed us, long may it continue. Thank you. Keep your comments coming as well. 81333 is the text number. Please start your message with the word York. Put your name on as well. Likewise, if you contact us on WhatsApp, start your message with the word York. Tell us who you are. 08000 321 333. Or you can get in touch with us on Twitter at BBC York Sport. Twitter, X, or whatever you want to call it these days. In my mind, forever Twitter at BBC York Sport. It's 8:45.
Daytimes on BBC Radio York.
Tell me about your packed lunch. What's in your pack-up?
Joanita Musisi.
I'm getting a little bit of reaction to something I posted earlier. The packed lunch, which involves a Yorkshire pudding and pasta. It's not normally what I'd put together, but we had some pasta left over. I didn't want to throw it in the bin.
Beck Homer.
Oh my goodness. My poor mum, when I was little, I used to have this thing where I just couldn't stand being around anyone eating sandwiches. The only thing I would eat as a kid was, you know, them mini Scotch pancakes or biscuits buttered.
Weekdays from 10.
That's terrible, isn't it? My poor mum.
BBC Radio York.
BBC Radio York Sport goalless at half-time then in York City's match at home to Oldham. Just briefly looking at the live table, if York City can get a point from this as things stand, they would move up one place into 17th. Still 3 points between them and the bottom four, with Southend also drawing at the moment, but they are in the bottom four as it stands. York City would be 17th, but still another 45 minutes of football to go. Make your mind up as to how relevant the live table is at this point. I'm sure everybody will be much happier looking at that come an hour's time, really. Once that final whistle's gone, if York City have picked up points. Plenty of football still to come, though, in that second half. We'll rejoin David and Ian for the second half, hopefully very shortly. I don't think it'll be too far off now, the teams coming back out. Let me just recap the scores for you at half-time in the National League. Half-times are Fylde 2, Solihull Moors 1, Aldershot 0, Barnet 0, Bromley 2, Dagenham and Redbridge 0, Ebbsfleet 1, Woking 0, Hartlepool 0, Altrincham 1, Kidderminster 0, Gateshead 1, Maidenhead 1, Southend 1, Oxford City 0, Eastleigh 4, and York City 0, Oldham 0. Games off this evening: Rochdale against Boreham Wood, Wilston against Dorking, and Halifax against Chesterfield. We will have a look at all those scores for you, of course, at the end of this evening's matches. Keep your comments coming in as well. We'll have a look at what you've been saying later on this evening now. And just to remind you, in National League North, Scarborough Athletic against Southport. That one is still goalless as well in National League North. Still waiting for York City, I think, to come back out onto the pitch. Oldham are back out. We'll rejoin David Ward very shortly. In fact, they are just about coming back out now, so let's get ready to get back to the LNER Community Stadium. York City against Oldham, goalless. Will that deadlock be broken in the second half? Let's rejoin Ian Dunn and David Ward.
Yeah, thank you, Sharon. The players are back out. Oldham come out first. York City just making their way out. Now, it doesn't look as though there are any changes at half-time as Yorkie tries to get a high five with the referee, but he completely dodges him with the ball under his arm and bypasses him and leaves Yorkie just looking at him as he walks towards the centre circle. York City, George Sykes-Kenworth is in goal. The back four, Danny Amos, Callum Howe, Will Smith and Ryan Fallowfield. The five in midfield, Billy Chadwick on the left, Charlie Allen on the right. In the centre, Alex Woodyard, McLaughlin and Paddy McLaughlin and Dan Batty. Will Davis is the lone striker. For the away side, Matthew Hudson's their goalkeeper. Their back four, Liam Hogan, Charlie Raglan, Sean Hobson and Will Sutton. In midfield, they've got Mark Hutchin, Ollie Hammond, Nathan Sharon and Tom Conlon, with Mike Fondop and Joe Garner up top. If either the manager decides to make changes, I'm sure they will. York City have Crooks, Duckworth, John Lewis, Barnes and Rory Watson on the bench. The away team have Lundstrom, Green, McGahey, Gardner and Magnus Norman as the substitute goalkeeper for Oldham. The referee gets the game underway. Oldham coming forward down their right, the York City left. Oldham shooting towards the south stand at the start of this second half. York City shooting towards the Oldham fans in the north stand. City just struggling to clear their lines at the moment as McLaughlin gives away possession, and Oldham are going to recycle it at the back. Will bring York City, a former York City striker. There are times this season where I've thought he probably could be a York City striker, not doing much worse. Ian Dunn will be in shortly. Oldham coming forward up towards the edge of that York City penalty area, and it is going to be cleared by Smith, who sends it long, and it goes all the way downfield, and the Oldham goalkeeper gets his first touch of the ball at the start of this second half, and now gets a second touch, so we can bring Ian Dunn in. What do you think will have been said at half-time?
I think Neil Adler will say he wants more of the same, more of the front foot football, keep it to feet, keep testing this Oldham Athletic defence, and try and if you get a chance, you've got to take it.
Pushing the back there of Billy Chadwick, so it's a free kick to York City on halfway. One thing we didn't actually talk about during that first half is the decision with the two centre-backs for Will Smith again to go out of position to play on the left-hand side, and Howe to play on the right, because I think they both particularly want to play on the right if they could. Yeah,
but Will Smith, he's probably more adept at it than Callum Howe. Callum Howe is definitely a right-footed centre-half, and I can't imagine him playing on the left-hand side, to be brutally honest.
Yeah, well, we knew before he came to York City he definitely didn't do it at Harrogate Town. And now York City have been penalised. Free kick to Oldham on halfway on this left-hand side this time. Charlie Allen saw that it was going to be a quick free kick, or the option was there, so he went and stood on top of the ball. You're not supposed to, but the referee was having a word with somebody. You just never know, though, if they're going to allow it to go or not. So he did the right thing. Everyone's back, and now Hogan takes it short at the back. Long ball forward. Diagonal ball, headed away by Amos. The blue shirts have it. 0-0 BBC Radio York, 2 minutes gone in this second period. The question is, how are York City going to eke out a chance? How are they going to score a goal, if at all possible, in this second period? Oldham, they didn't offer too much either. They had the one glaring miss from a Joe Garner from a corner. Should have scored, put it over the bar. But I think it's fair to say George Sykes-Kenworthy's had a very, very quiet evening as well.
He has,
could be 10 against 10 and it'll still be 0-0, Ian.
Yeah. It shows that City got one end right, and the other end is in progress, but it's been much more ambitious tonight, I think. I'd just like to see Charlie Allen get more of the ball down this right-hand side. Let's see what he's got.
But again, City going long. These long balls from Callum Howe, they really are an issue tonight. So no one's going to win the header. It comes around the other end of the pitch. Oldham round the back. Fondup takes on the shot, hits the bar! And it goes out of play for a goal kick, so close to the opening goal of the game for the visitors. Yeah. And they just cut through York City on this left-hand side. Little return ball to Fondup, and from a tight angle, he probably should have pulled it back, but he tried to smash it towards the near stick, and it hit the bar and has gone out of play for a goal kick far side of the field.
Yeah, that was a heck of a strike, I'll give you that. But yeah, Oldham just cut through City a little bit too easy there. And look at it, it's that 2 minutes after half-time. The last thing Neil Ardley said as the troops are going out is, make sure you're tight this next 10-15 minutes. Be tight. So he'll be unhappy with that, but it's a reminder, and City got off with it.
Applause from the Oldham fans as York City come forward down the left-hand side. Chadwick finds some space up towards the edge of the area, takes on the shot, blocked immediately, and goes out to the far side to McLaughlin. He gives it to Batty. Now to Amos, first time cross. It's a deep one. Round the back is Allen, and he tries to pull it back. The goalkeeper has to save with his legs. He thought it had gone out of play already. Everyone else fell to sleep apart from Charlie Allen. And it goes behind, and York City get their first corner of the game.
He's done well, the young man there. Just effort has won a corner. Just effort and belief that there might be something, a scrap coming towards him. And he reacted well.
You watch Charlie Allen, whatever happens, get given the Man of the Match award.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
For the run in the first half and keeping that ball in play there and trying to pull it back. Wasn't on target.
He's won a corner.
He'll have probably done enough, I think, in the eyes of the York City supporters, as things stand, to get given the accolade. Corner kick then York. They can send the big men forward for a corner because they send McLaughlin and Fallowfield back. They leave them back. They've taken it short. Batty swings it in, outswinger. Callum Howe just misses his header, and Oldham are going to be able to clear. There's a Chadwick and Oldham man down in the penalty area. Referee allows play to go on. They're both now back on their feet, and the ball goes all the way back downfield to Sykes-Kenworthy. Fallowfield gives away possession, deflects off the Oldham man though, and that'll be a York City throw-in. 0-0.
Yeah, it just looked a little bit nervy there. Fallowfield is back to goal, passing it back to Joe Sykes-Kenworthy. It was a bobbler, and City won the throw-in, thankfully.
Mickey Mellon's seen enough. He's about to make his first change of the evening. 5 minutes into this second half, it's Devan Green, the former Stockport and Scunthorpe man, who's going to come on. The City come forward down the left. Davis from McLaughlin. McLaughlin continues his run forward. Davis goes to ground, looking for a free kick. Nothing happening again. Thumps the ground in frustration. But again, I think he just went down a little bit too easily. Yeah. Fondup now for Oldham. Over the top, there's no one there. Sykes-Kenworthy comes to the edge of his area and clears. But he gets more height than distance on that. Doesn't even clear his own half of the field, actually. Headed forward by Hogan. Straight to the York City captain. One captain to another, to Fallowfield, who comes inside. Gives it to Davis, who has to drop into a midfield role and then lay it off to Dan Batty.
Yeah, look at the pass though from Will Davis. That is a little bit. I know I'm being
diagonal
picky.
Ball trying to turn the defence, just too much on it, and just spins into the arms of the goalkeeper.
You see the pass to Batty from Davis there. It was a bobbler. It was a 5, 6, 7 yard pass. It's bobbled it to
the weight of the pass as well,
exactly.
Isn't it?
He had to have a touch to get it under control. Make it easy for you, mate.
Long ball downfield, looking for Garner. Headed clear by Howe, sent back forward by Kitchen. Little ball to Fondup, almost through. Last ditch defending again from Callum Howe. Appeals for handball, nothing given by the referee. City have it on the left-hand side with Chadwick. Long diagonal ball forward.
Yeah, not winning the seconds there either.
No. But again, long balls are not going to work. We are not going to win a header all night with long balls. We haven't done so far, and we continue not to do at the start of this second half, York City. Down the right-hand side. Come forward to Oldham. Back into midfield. To Conlon. Has time to pirouette and do a full 360 there. Gets it back and then dinks the ball to the box. Garner back post, got behind his man, and Callum Howe does well to put it behind for a corner. He just couldn't get it under control quickly enough there, Garner. And it allowed Howe to get back in, otherwise it was a shot on goal from 3 or 4 yards.
Yeah, excellent defending from Callum Howe, because he knew he was beat. He was pedalling backwards really, and he could see the ball was going to beat him in the air. Thankfully, he managed to turn his body in time to put that out for a corner.
So Devon Green's coming on for Ollie Hammond, who hasn't really been that involved tonight. Former Nottingham Forest Academy man. Did have a loan spell, actually. Not many players go on loan to higher division sides, but he had a loan from Oldham to Cheltenham in League 2 earlier on this season, did Ollie Hammond. Green comes on, normally a wide midfielder. Conlon takes the corner kick into the middle, headed away by Will Smith. Great header clear by, in fact, it was Will Davis, wasn't it, who cleared that. Oldham pick up the ball. City again got everyone back just on the edge of their penalty area. And then good play, good closing down there from Dan Batty. Puts the block on the attempted pass forward, but the blue shirts still have it. And then that's put into touch on this near side. Applause from Tony McMahon and from Neil Ardley there for Dan Batty.
Yeah, great work rate, great pressing, forcing the Oldham player into mistake. And City, yeah, win the ball back.
Still 0-0. Still feel as though there is life in this game. There will be a goal at some point.
Yeah, but I'd say it's a fair 0-0. Both see neither side are better.
Well, that ball slipped out around Fallowfield. He's hurt his shoulder. We know he has a problem with that shoulder, and he's really hurt that right shoulder as he took that throw in. Michael Duckworth will be alert, and now he goes into the air and falls on that other shoulder. Luckily, not on his right shoulder, Ryan Fallowfield. Long ball downfield all the way through to the goalkeeper.
He couldn't have scripted that. He's feeling his right shoulder, and then he goes up for a header and falls on his left one.
Yeah, not great, but at least there is an option there if he was to go off. But he looks all right as the York City captain. Now Devon Green, look at the speed to get around the back on that far side. Beat Amos, gave Amos 3 or 4 yard head start and still managed to get onto his own ball down the line, and he wins another corner for Oldham.
That was the most obvious
electrifying
pace I've seen in years. That was frighteningly fast. Amos
we have been
slow.
Watching York City.
Well, yeah, true, yeah. But Amos isn't slow, is he? So
no.
I think there's a little warning that Devon Green's got a little bit of pace, David.
Corner from that far side of the field. In swinger, near post, flicks off a York City man's head. It's Will Davis again, who's winning everything actually in his own penalty area. But whenever there's anything sent downfield, I don't think we've won a header in the opposition's half of the field.
They've learned from Saturday though, because that was the identical corner to how the opposition scored on Saturday, and Will Davis was in that sort of front post position to get his head on the end of it. Done well.
I think it might have been Alex Woodyard who lost his man on Saturday from that Dagenham Redbridge goal. Long ball into the cross into the box, easy for Sykes Kenworthy. Good handling. He's making it out as though he wants to release it pretty quickly, but I think he's quite happy actually to waste a few seconds here. George Sykes Kenworthy has still got it in his hands. Bring back the 6-second rule. Rolls it out onto his penalty spot. Now he's waiting for Oldham to try and close him down, which they're not going to do. So he just has to lay it off to Callum Howe. Now this is the ball, he's put straight into touch there, Callum Howe. That long ball off his right foot has not worked for a number of weeks.
No. Callum Howe's. Well, I think there's a slight
I said that before he'd even done it there as well, and he went straight to touch.
Yeah, there's a slight modification. He's not just launching it forward. He is trying to find feet, but it's just, not quite right.
And to touch it goes, Neil Ardley fields it. Oldham throw-in, Hogan in front of us here on this near side. For 10 minutes now in the second half, it's still 0-0. He plays it forward to Fondup. His control lets him down, and City are able to clear with Allen. Looking to try and turn the Oldham defence. Will Davis can't get there. Hobson will clear to the far side. Green's not going to be able to keep that in play. He's fast, but he couldn't get there before that ball bounced into the York City supporters. Throw-in taken by Amos. He gets it back a second time. Comes in field, gives it to McLaughlin. His first touch wasn't the greatest. He was running down a blind alley there, but he's done well as Paddy McLaughlin to keep hold of possession there and lays it off to the defender. And it is given away by York City. They try and win it back centre field. Then there's a sliding tackle goes in by McLaughlin on the stretch. Appeals for a foul, nothing given by the referee. Forward to Fondup for Oldham. Back into midfield to Conlon. Now down the right-hand side to Green. Green under pressure from the York City man, from Billy Chadwick. And they have it back with Raglan. Raglan across to the far side to Green. I think Oldham will be the favourites if they don't go up this season via the playoffs to get that one automatic promotion spot next season, but we know it's never that simple. Forward from Hogan, cleared at the edge of the own penalty area. One again, forced to a blue shirt on the edge of the box. Going to come back to Hogan. He thought about having a shot. Instead, he just dinks it in with a little cute cross. Headed away by York City. Don't get much distance. Now they're through around the back with Kitchen. Pulls it back into the box. Appeals for handballs. It hits Callum Howe. And City are able to clear their lines. All the play in is in the half that York City are defending.
It is. Oldham have come to the party a little bit, which you would expect. They are a better team in, looking at the league table. But City are defending doggedly. They're working the socks off. They have now got to do what Oldham had to do in the first half a little bit, maybe to a more of an extent, and that is hang on in there and hope that Oldham run out of ideas a little bit and City another foothold in the match.
Throw-in taken by Oldham.
You'd expect Oldham to have a spell in this match, and maybe this is it. This is the time when City have to be resolute and they have to be dogged and not get caught out. It's like stupid.
The Oldham supporters have brought the York City supporters into life.
It's a great atmosphere. Compared to Saturday where it was a bit tired.
Hogan has it, gives it back to Raglan. Oldham recycling it at the back. Long ball forward from them, looking for Garner. Goes over his head and comes across to Kitchen. Can he get the cross in past Fallowfield? He can, but he can't get it past. But the second time he does, edge of the box. Woodyard could have left that for Sykes Kenworthy. A lack of communication between the two, and City have run that out of play now for a corner kick. That's sloppy by York City. Woodyard came in front of Sykes Kenworthy. There was no Oldham man there. It was dropping into Sykes Kenworthy's arms. Woodyard headed it away, and then he couldn't keep it in play. It goes behind for a corner.
And that's what I mean about resolute and holding your nerve. Yes, Oldham have got a little bit ahead of steam here, and that was a nervy moment for City. They weren't sure what to do. In a way, I don't blame Alex Woodyard too much because he just wanted to clear the ball. He just didn't clear it very well. And George Sykes Kenworthy could have took the lot, to be fair.
Corner kick comes in from Conlon to the near stick. No one there apart from Dan Batty. He's able to clear his lines easily. Blue shirts have it again, hooked back in for a second time. Flicked on, flag goes up, offside.
Good defending from City. Good defending. This is just that period, David. They've got to hold tight, hang on in there, keep the ball when they can, and almost, make sure that Oldham don't get any further of a foothold in the game, and that means don't let Oldham score, because the longer this game goes, it could go either way.
Once again, though, Ian, I think we are saying you don't have to be outstanding to be up there in this league.
This is, You talk about Oldham like they're world beaters. They're not, but they're up there because they want to put a few wins together.
Fallowfield, cross forward for York City, up towards the Oldham box. City haven't been in the box all half, and Davis is offside.
Shouldn't be offside. You're looking right along you're looking at the linesman. That's a frustration.
Oldham take the free kick immediately, and it's headed into touch on the far side by Will Smith.
I mean, Oldham have definitely upped their pace of game, David, from half-time. They've probably had a bit of a rollicking from their manager to lift their pace, because they've got a lot of fans here expecting things from Oldham as well, but City are hanging on in there at the moment.
Fondup gets it from the throw-in. Not the greatest of layoffs, but Oldham keep hold of possession. Garner flicks it across to Hogan, who's forward. Left-hand side of the penalty area, just couldn't get it under control. Otherwise, he had a free shot at goal from 15 yards. A little bit last-ditch at times now from York City.
Yeah, but that's the pressure starting to tell. Oldham are having a spell right now. They're putting City under pressure. Can City defend against it? That's the question. And that's part of football. You're going to have teams with spells like that.
And it comes again. Fondup wins the header. Sykes Kenworthy into the back of the net. Oh no, it's a calamity for Sykes Kenworthy. Hogan just swung it in, and Fondup and Sykes Kenworthy got there first. He didn't get the punch, and he just flicked it past him. Into the back of the net it goes. Oldham take the lead. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. York City 0, Oldham 1.
Well, I could sit here all night and say, doggy defending, be resolute. The City have done that. What you can't count for is a goalkeeper dropping a clanger, and that is, unfortunately for George Sykes Kenworthy, a clanger.
It's an absolute shocker because there's no one closes down Hogan to put the ball in, and all he's done is just floated it in, and then you're right, it is an absolute howler from Sykes Kenworthy.
Yeah. Do you know what?
It's been coming in.
Frustrating. They've put the pressure on, but we were hanging in there. That's just, I just think, you know what? I'm going to sound contradictory here. He's dropped a howler, but it's almost like you want your keeper to come and win the ball. He hasn't. He's got it totally wrong this time. He's going to have to mark that down as a mistake. But don't put him off it, because there'll be games where he comes and wins the ball and saves us. That is just a howler, and City got to find their way back in this match now. And
as we've seen already with George Sykes Kenworthy, when goalkeepers make mistakes, they generally lead to a goal. There's that one, there's the Boreham Wood one, there's the Ebbsfleet one. Yeah, and he's still been a decent signing since coming to York City, but there have been now 3 or 4 maybe howlers a little bit excessive. That one was. The other two, I think he probably should have saved at Boreham Wood, and the Ebbsfleet one, he maybe should have done better as well. But there have been 2 or 3 occasions now. Yeah, where he's been found wanting.
Yeah, he's got that wrong, David, I'm afraid. But so many times this season, I said it's great to see him coming for them. So I can't argue when he does come and makes a mistake. It's just we get punished when we make mistakes. We seem to get punished, and that's exactly what's just happened now.
That really has brought the Oldham supporters to life. They come forward looking for a second that would surely finish off this game. 2 York City players go for the same ball, get themselves into a right angle. Fallowfield and Batty. And the referee says there's been a foul in there somewhere, and gives the free kick to York.
It's so important. These next 10 minutes, 10-15, David, City, be strong, be solid. You can still get something out of this match if you deny Oldham the space and the chances, because that was a howler. That's the only time Oldham haven't looked like scoring. Yes, they've had a bit of build-up of pressure, but it took a mistake, a real mistake, for them to score a goal. So, you know, City have got to keep their heads up.
It's enough for Neil Ardley to say, I need to make a change. It's going to be his captain. Lionel John Lewis will make his 100th appearance in a York City shirt in just a couple of moments. 63 minutes on the clock and City trailing by 1-0. Who will he take off? Billy Chadwick, not really been involved yet again. He's pushed out wide left, so you do have to have a little bit of sympathy for him.
Yeah, I mean, you maybe change the formation, go Davis and John Lewis up front together with Alan just in behind, maybe?
Has Alan had a touch in this second half? They've got to keep feeding him.
They haven't been able to get him in the game.
And they try and give it to him now on this near side. Oldham man dives in, Hogan, looking for the free kick. Referee doesn't buy it.
Oldham fans have come to the party now. They are very loud. They're enjoying it now.
It's not, it's McLaughlin who's going off, so it is an attacking change for York City.
It really is. That'll be interesting. 4-2-4. I would. Got nothing to lose. Get the 2 strikers up there together, working in tandem, and get your 2 wingers having a right go.
It'll be more 4-4-2, won't it, if we're being honest, because City haven't seen enough of the ball to make it 4-2-4.
Well, look at them now. It's definitely a 4-2-4 there. When we attack.
Ball forward down the right side. John Lewis tried to flick it on with his left foot, and it hit his standing foot and went back 20 yards into the defensive half of the field.
It's just not quite his game at times when it goes into his... He's not that kind of player, I'm afraid.
Neil Ardley's shown what he should have done as well down there on the touchline. Said he should just have to hook it round the corner. He completely missed it.
Yeah, he's just got it wrong. But no, see, you've got to have a go. And it does look like the 4 of them are up there.
Now Ryan Fallowfield's taking his eye off the ball, lets it go straight under his foot and to touch this near side for a throw-in. But he's not happy with Callum Howe again for passing it over this side, Neil Ardley.
Well, but Fallowfield was on. It's a terrible touch from Fallowfield, unfortunately. And just when you don't want it to be terrible, there's no pressure on him. Just keep the ball, lads. Stay calm. Gather your composure and see if you can get back in this match. You mustn't implode.
Flicked on by Garner. Batty tries to clear. The skies it. Middle of the park. Chadwick beaten to it in the air. Oldham feed it to Green on the right-hand side. He comes infield to Hobson. Long ball forward, diagonal ball forward. Over the head of Garner, bounces over Fallowfield. The referee says a free kick. That's never a free kick. Callum Howe's done really well to make that look as though there's some contact there in the penalty area and win the free kick for York City. I don't think there was any collision between the two.
I think the striker was more than welcome to go for the ball there. I'm not even sure he connected to Howe. Might be wrong to see it back on the TV screen, but yeah. He's
Neil Cox is claiming there was an elbow on Callum Howe down there, isn't there? Having with the 4th official, but I didn't see anything. We have the perfect view here, Ian.
Unless there was a sly one. Callum Howe was having a go at the striker who's just apologised, actually, so maybe there was something. Well, yeah, there must have been something, maybe. The striker has apologised, and I'm almost certain he's saying it wasn't much.
Anyway, it's a free kick to York City. They trail by a 1-0 as we approach the halfway point of the second half on BBC Radio York.
And Callum Howe and the striker having a real pop at each other now. Unhappy with each other's whatever the other one did, they're not agreeing with. And City, they've got to roll their socks up, David. Push the chest out and get on the ball.
Alex Woodyard this time fouls Garner. Free kick given on halfway, left-hand side of the pitch.
Yeah,
well, Callum Howe can't afford to get involved.
No, but he's hardly furious with John.
He already had that.
Lewis.
And look at Gary Bradman again in the eye. The fourth official pointing his finger at him from a couple of inches away.
I've no idea what for. They've won the free kick.
I don't know. You don't want to see that, do you?
No, they do it. I'm sure it's just to unnerve the fourth official, isn't it? Just for that one that might come in the future.
He has no say whatsoever, does he?
No, but yeah.
Down the right-hand side.
Chance to vent.
To Green, just outside the penalty. Around the corner it goes. Can he keep it in play? Pulls it back, it does. Deflects off a York City chest to the edge of the area, and it's only red shirts that are there. Slightly fortunate York City. Fallowfield forward to John Lewis to try and hold it up. And he does this time, and then tackle comes in at him. Referee says there's no foul. Trying to make it look as though there was a foul. John Lewis, I'm not sure there was.
I thought it was a bad first touch, and he left
It was
his
a bad
leg
first
in.
touch. Falls to Garner, he takes on the shot and drags it well wide of goal. John Lewis comes back to his feet.
Yeah, it's a bad first touch. He's caused it himself. The bad first touch has meant the second touch was almost a tackle, which he was late to.
His first touch this season has completely deserted him, John Lewis.
Oh.
We know he is getting towards the end of his career, you would have thought. As you were getting towards the back end of your career, what started to drop off? Was it pace? What was it?
Pace.
Or was it first touch?
For me, it was... No, the first touch. If you've got a good first touch, you can control the football. It's not first touch. You might find his whole career... The touch has been similar.
So maybe because he's been playing at a lower level, it's not been as noticeable as what it is at the higher level.
Yeah. You'll find if you've got a good first touch, you know, you can look at a 45-year-old now. If first touch is good, he'll hold the ball up. It's that pace, it's that energy, that burst that you lose. That they say half a yard. For me, it was 3 or 4.
City giving away possession again because it's a Callum Howe long ball to Will Davis, and it's just absolutely pointless. You are just gifting away possession against the centre backs. If you're going to do it, you've got to go for where John Lewis is. Now City try and come forward, feels for a foul. I don't think there was there either. I think the referee's got that right. Garner spreads it to the right-hand side to Devan Green. Green is going to run at Amos, takes him down the line. Still got it, Green. Now he bursts past him, and he's allowed to get across into the box. There's no one there. Sykes Kenworthy gathers.
Good hands from Sykes Kenworthy. He hasn't let the mistake.
And he's not bowled it out to the left-hand side. Neil Adley wanted it out to the left-hand side about 5 or 6 seconds before he bowled it out into the centre. Not happy with his goalkeeper there. Forward to Green, to Davis, but to his feet. He lays it off to Billy Chadwick. He comes in field. Billy Chadwick moved about 20 yards, but it's all just been to the right-hand side rather than forward. Now he gives it to Fallowfield. Cross comes into the box, headed away by Oldham. York City win their first corner kick of this second half.
That's
just
better.
The second of the match.
Yeah, it's better from sitting out. Look, it doesn't take much to get the crowd going, does it? You know,
look at Neil Adley shouting at George Sykes Kenworthy. He's saying to him, keep your head up.
Yeah.
Chin up, he's saying, chin up to him.
Well, he spotted something. I just saw him collect the ball there, and I thought, well done, young lad. You have kept. You haven't let it get to you.
He's saying to his bench, he's sulking around.
Yeah, he spotted something. He spotted something in George Sykes Kenworthy, and that's the manager's job to spot things like that. And he's letting him know, hey, you haven't got time in football at any point in a game to feel sorry for yourself. You get on with it.
Corner kick for York City. It's a deep one.
Oh,
one in the air by Smith. Hits the back and there it goes! 1-1 is the equaliser. Nodded in at this near stick. Will Davis, I think it is, who got the final connection. Again, the corner comes in. Howe wins everything at the back stick. He's nodded back across goal. And there he is, centimetres out from goal. And he's nodded in at this near side. York City get the equaliser. It's 1-1.
Brilliant. Callum Howe, we've said it week in, week out. Oh, listen to City fans. Week in, week out, he wins headers, David. Put it on his head, give him a chance and react. Take a gamble. And I think, who scored the goal? Was it Will Smith?
Do you know what? I thought at first it was Will Davis.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure it is now. We couldn't see because the man that body's in that goal.
Yeah. I thought it was Will Smith.
Might even been Dan Batty.
Oh, Dan Batty. It really doesn't matter. Whoever it was, gambled on the ball coming back across the goal. Get in.
No, we were right. It was Will Davis. He gets his 4th goal of the season. It's been a while coming, the 4th.
Yeah. But City haven't let themselves get too quagged down with that mistake. Now they're back in this match, David, big time.
One set piece, Ian.
Yeah, one good set piece. Onto Callum Howe's head. He wins everything. Oh, yeah, fantastic. So Will Davies has gambled and he's put the ball in the back of the net. It's just the tonic City needed. Really was.
1-1 then.
Both
sides. Again, that's City's first attack, really, the second half as well.
Yeah, it's a good one. But now you can hear the South Stand. You can see the City fans now.
Ball goes into touch, far side of the field. The ball girl is up off her seat to try and get it back off the steward in the stand.
Good girl. Yeah, look, they're at it. Getting the ball back in play. City have a go here. You can have a go. Don't sit back. There's no point sitting back. We know what happens. Have a go and see if Oldham can manage it.
Sykes Kenworthy, the ball at his feet. Gives it to Dan Batty. York City are the draw kings, of course. 14 draws to their name, more draws than anybody else in the National League. As things stand, they're on for a 15th. Fallowfield to John Lewis, gets the ball out of his feet, comes infield, gives away possession. The blue shirts have it. They go forward to Fondup. Ball bounces off him, but he keeps hold of possession. Fallowfield nicks it.
Good.
Now he's swinging on the corner. John Lewis from Davies' header. John Lewis heads to the box, wide right, needs to cross it to somebody in the middle. Has to wait for help. Fallowfield on the overlap. Oh, and there's a terrible pass from John Lewis. Just a simple ball down the line, and he just got the ball stuck under his foot.
He never looked like he had it under control. And seconds before his first touch, I don't know, it's too harsh. It was terrible.
Fallowfield to Allen, still not involved in the second half. To be honest, he's not been involved much at all in the game, Charlie Allen, apart from that first 10 or 15 minutes. But he's not seen the ball, and that's a robust challenge. Comes in on a Dan Batty. Ball goes into touch for a York City throw-in.
Yeah, John Lewis, his legs are it's like Bambi on ice at times. They just couldn't get the ball under control. Just settle down.
Fallowfield to Allen. Allen round the corner to Woodyard. City suddenly buoyed by that goal, having a bit of possession in the opposition half. Allen turns one way then the other, and he loses possession this time. Oldham have it down their left. Callum Howe's there for York City, and he gives the bouncing ball back to Sykes Kenworthy, who probably didn't want the bouncing ball. His first touch isn't great, and he's almost blocked by Fondup.
Well, done well.
It wasn't a great pass from Callum Howe.
It wasn't, and that's the little things that Neil Adler is furious with. Then bobbly passes. You don't pass it back to your goalie with a bobble. You got to make it easy for him.
Long ball forward to John Lewis, control in his chest. Tries to lay it off. Still got hold of it. He's going to lose possession. He does. Kitchen heads away for Oldham. Batty on the stretch. Now Woodyard, the handball there on the blind side, the referee not spotted. Woodyard gives it to John Lewis, who wasn't expecting it. John Lewis then tries to feed it through again. It's a poor pass forward from John Lewis straight through to the goalkeeper. Neil Adley, hands over his eyes, he turns around. You've got your hands over your eyes, Ian, if you could.
He just hasn't got in. John Lewis, he hasn't got into the pace of the match. I think that's the problem. And then his touch is all over the shop, and his passing, just he's got to somehow gain his composure, get back to simple things. Keep the ball and pass it to your teammate.
Headed clear by Smith for York. Not going to get much distance on it. Fondup. Free header for him in the centre of the park. Then there is a contest. That's going to be handball, is it? It is. Woodyard jumps with his hands up. Hits his hands. Free kick to Oldham. What's this? 40 yards from goal. Centre of the field. Too far out, you would have thought, for a direct shot at goal.
Hold on. I'll remind you of someone called Quavin Castro a couple of years ago. Identical spot. Surely it couldn't happen here, could it?
Nah. To be honest, if Quavin Castro try that, he'll never do that again from what we've seen this season. I think he's not struggling to get a place in the Kings Lynn starting 11.
Yeah, that's that day he played us off the park as well. Whatever happened to him, I'm not sure.
Free kick then for Oldham. Everyone lines up just outside the D, dinked in to the box. The York City man goes to ground. Referee gives nothing. City struggling to get that. Did hit a hand, but it was intentional. A York City hand that was as well. Half-hearted appeals from Oldham. City clear their lines back up to halfway. Oldham still got everyone forward. No one's going to close down the man with on the ball here. He's allowed to just drive forward. Middle of the park. Now he dinks it in again from identical position, looking for Hogan, and it's just too much and goes behind for a goal kick. The flag went up for offside anyway. City again caught napping there. Fortunate Oldham didn't make something of it.
Yeah, I'm just looking down at the bench there. Neil Ardley's giving Finlay Barnes real instructions here. Are we gonna? I think Neil Ardley's he's sensing that we might as well go for this. You know, You bring Finley Barnes on, it's not to bring him on for defensive skills, is it? It's to
no, but it's going to be a
position.
straight swap, isn't it? It's going to be Allen, I would have thought, possibly Chadwick who comes off. It's just fresh legs.
Yeah. But he, you know, the option there, he could bring on another midfielder.
It's Billy Chadwick that's going to be coming off.
Defender in Duckworth. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
It'd be interesting to see who goes across the left-hand side.
Yes, because Finley Barnes said the other night he prefers to start on the right, doesn't he?
And as does Charlie Allen. Flicked on by Fondup, there's no one there with him. Amos is going to clear for York City. It remains 1-1 into the final quarter of an hour on BBC Radio York. York just trying to turn that Oldham defence, hooked into touch by Oldham. It'll be a York City throw-in level with the edge of the visitors' penalty area.
They're not messing around.
City take their time. Woodyard. Back out it goes across to Amos. He comes infield. To Batty, who's encouraged to shoot, but there's no way he's shooting from 40 yards out. Gives it to Fallowfield. He dinks it forward. John Lewis wins the header. Can't link up with Davis. Headed clear by Oldham. Not the greatest clearance. Amos to Woodyard. On the left, into midfield it goes to Batty. Batty down this right-hand side to Fallowfield. Fallowfield gives it to Allen. Allen back to Fallowfield. Fallowfield, Allen creates a space for Fallowfield to drive infield. Then he tries to give it to John Lewis, but John Lewis is on his heels and it goes through to the goalkeeper. It wasn't a great ball from Ryan Fallowfield. It's behind John Lewis, really. He wanted it into his feet.
No, he done well as well, Ryan Fallowfield, to get into that position. He chose the wrong option, David. He's sort of outside of the foot, flashed his foot at the ball and just got it wrong. He could have maybe gone 2 or 3 yards further into the Oldham goalmouth.
Oh, that's a push from Will Smith on Garner, pushing the back, right in front of the referee. A clear free kick to the visitors. Here comes the change. Barnes for Chadwick. He's not cheating, I'm afraid. That was that was blatant, and that push in the back.
Yeah.
Will Smith.
He's put a lot in tonight, Chadwick. It's not quite come off for him at times, but there's so much promise there and potential with that young lad. You know, you forget how young he is, and he's come to a big club with a bit of expectation on him. It hasn't quite gone as well as he would have liked it so far, but tonight, for me, he's put a shift in.
The Barnes is on. Free kick in the centre circle to the visitors, and they're sending everyone forward here, bar one. York City have more defending to do. 78 minutes gone, 1-1. Sent out by Conlon down the right. Hobson wins the header, but he can't direct it to a blue shirt. City clear their lines. All right, where's Finley Barnes? So Finley Barnes has come across this right-hand side, and Allen has gone across to the left.
Yeah, Finley Barnes made no qualms about it. He prefers to be on the right, cutting in on his left foot. So let's give him the ball, see what he can do.
Throw in, Oldham, 15 yards inside the York City half. Down the line it goes. Flicked on. Cleared by York. Straight back to a blue shirt though. Now to the edge of the penalty area at Fallowfield. On the volley, hooks clear. John Lewis runs into Hobson, and the referee says, yeah, that's a foul.
Done.
Well, I'm not sure. I think he just runs across him and blocks him off. He wasn't going to get the ball there, John Lewis. You don't very often see those given.
No, but you don't see them up. They should be given every time. Number 5 just ran into John Lewis. He was looking at the ball. He looked at the path of the ball and stopped John Lewis getting, at least having a go at running for it. So, no, I'm well done, referee, on that one.
It's a free kick to York City, just outside the centre circle, inside the Oldham half, left-hand side of the field. Howe and Smith have gone forward. And it's sent forward now by Batty into the penalty area. It's deep. Hobson, not a great clearance, picked up by Finley Barnes on this right-hand side. He will never have played in front of a crowd and atmosphere like this before, you wouldn't have thought. Barnes dinks it into the box, headed clear by Oldham. Not a great clearance. John Lewis tries to get in front of his man, then goes to ground looking for a penalty. Nothing given. What's the referee said? He says it's a goal kick. John Lewis says that has to be a corner.
That had to be
so did all the other York City players.
He didn't touch it, John. He missed it, John Lewis. That's astonishing, because the referee pointed to the corner spot initially, looked at the linesman and changed his mind.
I don't think either of them really knew, did they?
No.
Goal kick it is for Oldham. Hudson clears. Patty and an Oldham man, Garner, again on the pitch. Going down every time, Garner under pressure. Not frightened to go down. The striker. put into touch by York City on halfway.
Puts himself about, but he has a tendency to go down quite easily.
Hogan throwing down the line. Fallowfield nods clear, back to Hogan. He then is caught by Will Davis. Free kick directly in front of us on this left-hand side. Woodyard's not happy with Will Davis. Bit of an argument between the two.
No, I think Davis is having to go at at Hogan for going down so dramatically.
So free kick in front of us. Again, it's a chance for Oldham to send the big men forward. They're all going to line up in a line on the edge of the D, in front of that York City penalty area. And it comes now from Conlon. Sykes Kenworth this time comes and gathers well.
Brilliant goalkeeping.
Clears quickly downfield, asking Allen, asking a lot of Allen there, from one goalkeeper to the other. Hudson clears. Flicked on, and it goes back through to George Sykes Kenworthy, who's responded well after making the mistake for the goal. Yeah,
considering that, you know, he came and dropped the howler for the goal. He's gathered himself again, and to see him coming for that ball there, he's good. He's good.
John Lewis tries to flick that on. Oldham man gets the better of him. Davis goes up for the challenge. Oldham still not cleared. They do now. Fondup nods it down to Devon Green. Now they can run for that York City defence. Green down the right side. Amos comes across to try and stop him. He gets the block on it, and it falls kindly for Smith to put it into touch on the far side of the field.
Yeah, it surprised me that Oldham haven't got Green more into the game and used his pace, because it's frightening when he gets
full
running.
time in the one Premier League game in just a second after we've gone through the National League scores. Latest scores 2-2 now between Fylde and Solihull, 0-0 between Aldershot and Barnet. Bromley lead Dagenham 2-1. 1-0 Ebbsfleet still lead Woking. Hartlepool 3-1 up on Altrincham as Oldham have the ball from the throw and then give away possession. Picked up by Batty. Gateshead 2 up at Kiddie. Maidenhead 1, Southend 2. Just as enough there, Batty almost got caught on the ball. Oxford 1, Eastleigh 5, and of course this game 1-1 here. City come forward now down the left. Woodyard to Allen. First time he's really had to run at the defence all second half. Into the penalty area. Gets past the first man. Still got it on the edge of the box. Ball almost gets away from him. He almost falls.
Well done.
But he manages to lay it off to Fallowfield. Fallowfield puts across it. Appeals for handball. Nothing given by the referee. And now he does give the free kick. This is a free kick in a dangerous position for York City.
It is. And you put a good delivery into that box. Tease the keeper out. See what he's made of. And City pressing. They are pressing here. They're having a go.
Scarborough Athletic trailing at home to Southport by a 0-0. Southport in bad form, struggling just above the relegation zone. Scarborough, though, not in great form either. Scunthorpe are 2-1 down at South Shields. That's interesting. In National North, looks like Tamworth are going to win that division and get that automatic promotion spot. Free kick then to York City. Right-hand side, about 35-40 yards from goal. It's going to be swung in by Dan Batty. He could play it down the line to Amos if he wants to. They've set up a two-man wall, but I can't imagine Batty's going to have a shot here. He raises his right arm, does Batty, and now he swings it in. It's a deep one, into the penalty area, headed clear by Oldham. Going to be picked up by a red shirt on the edge of the box, played back to Allen. Allen tries to skip between two Oldham men, loses possession. Now they can try and come forward on the break. City trying to get men back. Long diagonal ball forward, looking for Devon Green. Good winner in there, good header one there in the air from Fallowfield. Again, Garner's on the floor. Back to Sykes Kenworthy, who scuffs his clearance straight to a blue shirt, but manages to reach halfway. Fortunately, there's no one on the edge of the box for a free shot at goal. Kitching gets a deep cross into the box. Deep one, Fondup coming in around the back. That's a good headed clearance by Will Smith. He's clattered into as well. And the referee gives York City the free kick, 1-1.
Yeah, very brave header there from Will Smith. Mike Fondup coming in behind him.
Tonight's Eleanor Cootie Stadium match attendance figure is
5,282. 5,282.
Which is a total of 1,496.
1,496. So the York City attendance has dropped off actually by a few hundred for tonight's match compared to Saturday and last Tuesday.
That's three home games on the chalk. Probably expecting to win their first two. If they had done, then you might get a bigger crowd tonight. That's just football and totally understandable in the current climate.
Still disappointed. This was always going to be the biggest of those three games, or the best atmosphere, the biggest attendance.
Yeah, but if you're a fan, you might have thought the other two were more chance of actually winning them.
That is true. Down the left-hand side, come forward to York City. Woodyard Woodyard cross into the box. Good header clear by Oldham. That was a decent ball in from Alex Woodyard. York City have a throw in 10 yards away from the corner flag, far side of the field. Amos goes down to take it in front of the ranks of Oldham fans over there. 4 minutes to go. Takes it short to Woodyard. Gives it back to Amos. Amos digs out across into the box. Goalkeeper's dropped it. Can it go in? No, City just can't put it in. It goes behind for a corner, does it? No, the referee says goal kick.
Was it a goal kick?
Oh, that's a bad miss, I think, somehow. The referee, the goalkeeper's completely dropped that cross in. He was under a bit of pressure, but he almost made an absolute mess of that. That would have rivaled George Sykes-Kenworthy's error if City had scored from that.
Yeah, that's it. I saw it. If it wasn't a corner, it must be a miss. Whoever's foot it landed at has missed.
Well, there's John Lewis and Callum Howard, the two men in there.
Wow, that's a chance. It's a big chance.
Goalkeeper clears. 1-1 it remains with 3.5 minutes plus injury time to go. Flicked on by Fondop. Cleared by York City. Back to Fondop. Sends it out to the right-hand side. Looking for Devine Green, intercepted by York City. It was a blue shirt going to get there first. Good tackle from Nathan Sherron, who then pushes Charlie Allen for no particular reason. The referee has a quiet word with him and says, just calm down.
No need for that from Nathan Sherron. Mostly Charlie Allen's upset him. Rattled him a little bit. A silly tackle, a full-blooded tackle. Felt like he was going for Charlie Allen there.
Amos gets ready to take the throw-in down the line. Flicked on by Davis, cleared by Oldham. Woodyard's turn this time to go to ground under the challenge. Referee again gives nothing. Into touch it goes for a York City throw-in. Exactly halfway inside their own half, far side of the field. Smith gets ready to take the throw-in down the line. Who's that come off last? The back of Will Davis's head. So it'll be an Oldham throw. 2.5 minutes now on the clock and 1-1. It's a scoreline we've seen before this season.
Too often.
Yeah. You're better off winning one and losing one than all the draws that York City have had. Long ball downfield. Oldham defence can't clear. Picked up by John Lewis again. His first touch lets him down. Covering defender Hobson comes and gets it and puts it into touch on this near side.
Yeah. The City still pressing. You know, they might feel there's something there.
Throw into York, level with the edge of the Oldham penalty area. Fallowfield takes it short to Barnes. Barnes gets it back off Woodyard. Round the corner to Fallowfield. Oh, he's gone offside as Ryan Fallowfield. Poor cross anyway.
It was, but it shouldn't be offside. You know, it's a half-decent move. You've got a little bit of momentum going, and you stray into an offside position. Yeah.
Neil Ardley has a look at his watch. I can tell him there's 1 minute 10 plus injury time to go. Goalkeeper clears from the offside. One in the air by Smith. Into Allen. He just clears his lines and sends it forward. Hobson has to go back to the edge of his penalty area, and he clears long, looking for Green. Amos puts it into touch. Throw in to Oldham. Into the final 60 seconds we go then. Throw in taken quickly into midfield. And there's a foul given away by John Lewis.
Silly. I'm not sure he needed to do that, John Lewis. He just chipped the Oldham player.
Yeah, he did. Didn't need to. It was Conlon.
We're throwing everyone up as well.
4 minutes is going to go up on the board. We've got 20 seconds until that happens. Referee just telling Charlie Allen to go back a little bit, make sure he's 10 yards, gets his spray out. And Oldham get ready to swing this in. And it comes now, left-footed into the box. Good header clear in the penalty area by Smith, but appeals for handball as they clear, given by the referee. You heard Robert Havercroft give the 4 minutes there. He's got a yellow card out here. He's booking Danny Amos for time wasting.
I'm not sure. I think, well, Danny Amos cleared the ball away, didn't he? I'm not convinced he thought the referee was going to give anything there. And he gets a yellow card for it. That seems a crazy one.
And that's what's happened. Neil Ardley's not happy with the fourth official. Sykes Kenworthy gets ready to clear. The York fans heading for the exits. Cleared by Sykes Kenworthy. You should know, you don't head for the exits when York City are playing early.
No.
Forward down that left-hand side, Woodyard's run it into touch. Oh, to be fair, most of the late goals for York City, if not all of them, have all been away from home, haven't they?
I think they have, yeah. Yeah.
The ones they've conceded late have been here.
Be nice to book that trend today.
Sent up to halfway by Oldham. There's no one there in a blue shirt, though. And Callum Howe has it. Oh, it's not the greatest pass across to Dan Batty. He encouraged Fondop there. Back to Sykes Kenworthy, and he clears long. John Lewis flicks it on. Cleared by Oldham. Smith again wins the header. Sharon on the stretch, still manages to keep hold of that and then send it forward. Wasn't he offside there, Divine Green? Flag stayed down. So he came back from an offside position. Linesman didn't give anything. Put into touch by Smith again, far side. We've played almost 2 minutes of the 4. It remains 1-1. But it's been more competitive.
Yeah, it has. It's been, let's speak too soon because it can all change as a goal, can't it? But definitely been better than the last 2 performances here at the LNER.
City have managed to clear their lines up to John Lewis, and he wins the throw-in, does John Lewis. Tonight hasn't taken the captain's armband off Ryan Fallowfield, but then they take the throw-in quickly and give it straight to an Oldham man, and they've just belted it downfield. And Sykes Kenworthy has to clear again for York City. Ball bounces. Finlay Barnes tries to flick it on, cleared by Hobson. Callum Howe's going to nod it forward to a blue shirt. And a tackle comes in on Will Davis. He got in front of the defender. The defender didn't see him coming and took a swing to try and clear the ball. And he just clipped the heels of Will Davis. York City have a free kick. 90 seconds to go. 1-1, BBC Radio York. Batty's over it in the centre circle, just shy of halfway.
Could York City pull one out of the bag here, David? Get it up there. Callum Howe win the ball. Play off him.
Batty sends it long to the left-hand side. Callum Howe does win the free header. Into the box it goes. Cleared by Oldham, not once but twice. And it's going to come out that left-hand side to Amos, who didn't know whether to go for the ball when it was bouncing, so he was worried about not getting there and giving away possession. But City do manage to get it. Allen tries to play it through to Will Davis, but he's just blocked off and it goes behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, for a fraction of a second I thought Allen had a really good opportunity to pass a better ball in.
Batty gets given the man of the match award.
Well, he's put a good performance in, Dan Batty, in the middle of the park. Against good players, you know.
Cleared. Long. Free kick given against Fondop. York City have one final chance to send the big men forward from a free kick 15 yards inside their own half. There's young Kenneth Twix down there, as he's known on social media, gets up and heads for the exit.
Kenneth Twix.
Taken by Batty. Diagonal again up towards the edge of the box. John Lewis can't get there. It's allowed to bounce and it goes behind for a goal kick. That's a waste. The 4 minutes are up. I think that will be it. It will finish 1-1. And once again, York City will get a point from their 15th draw of the season from 34 games. That is the full-time whistle. Virtually every other game this season York City have drawn. They just cannot turn these draws into wins. I think they'll take that one tonight. It was an improved performance. It was a struggle at times. They didn't offer too much going forward at times. But from their one, really, 2 possibly clear-cut chances, Ian, they managed to nick a goal. That does get them that point.
Yeah, and I think that will go down as a hard-earned point, David. And, you know, it's not what you want at this stage of the season after the previous 2 results, but it's a point against a decent side. To be honest, before tonight, I'd have took that, to be honest. So, onwards we move to Barnet on Saturday. It doesn't get any easier, but they've given themselves a little bit of they've stopped the rot with that performance for me, but they've got to do that and more going forward to ensure they're in this division next season.
I'm delighted for George Sykes-Kenworthy as well. He'd have felt terrible if City hadn't got something from that game. It was an awful mistake from him as he came out for the cross. Just a dink cross in from Hogan on this near side, the left-hand side, into the box. He came charging out of his goal. Fondop got there in front of him to just nod it calmly over the top of him. It dribbled over the line into the back of the net. But then City, from a set piece once more, cross into the box, one at the back stick. I think it was by Callum Howe, possibly Will Smith, headed back across goal, and from a couple of yards out of the back post, unmarked, there he was, Will Davis, to nod it past the goalkeeper into the back of the net. It means that the LNER Community Stadium, Sharon, it's finished York City 1, Oldham Athletic 1.
Thanks, David. Thanks, Ian. Hopefully a reaction then before 10 o'clock from the York City manager, Neil Ardley. Stay with us here. We can't bring you that before 10, we will, of course, put it on BBC Sounds a little later this evening and tweet the link. And you'll be able to hear it tomorrow morning in our breakfast show with Georgie Spanswick in our sports bulletins. You'll be able to hear a little bit of what Neil Ardley has to say there as well. So 1-1 draw, a point for York City. I'm sure really a good point against a side like Oldham as well this evening. But what do you think? Get in touch with us. 81333 is the number on the text. Please start your message with the word York. Tweet us at BBC York Sport, or you can contact us on WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Please start your message with the word York and put your name on as well if you're contacting us on WhatsApp or by text. Let's have a look at the scores across the country elsewhere. Again, York City a little bit ahead of many across the country. In the Premier League, it was a 7:30 kick-off, so this has finished. Manchester City 1, Brentford 0. In the Championship, Cardiff 0, Blackburn 0 is also a result. Latest, Ipswich 3, Rotherham 2. Plymouth 0, West Brom 3. Southampton 1, Hull 2. In League 1, these are latest as well. Cambridge 1, Bolton 2. Oxford United 2, Northampton 2, Reading 1, Port Vale 0. And in League 2, latest scores are Gillingham 0, Stockport 0, MK Dons 1, Wrexham 1, Walsall 3, Morecambe 0, and the result is Wimbledon 0, Crawley 1. In the National League, let's see if we can bring you anything more up to date. Yes, I can. These are results. Fylde 2, Solihull Moors 2, Ebbsfleet 1, Woking 0. Latest scores are Aldershot 1, Barnet 0, Bromley 2, Dagenham and Redbridge 1. Hartlepool 3, Altrincham 2 is a result. Kidderminster 0, Gateshead 2 is a latest. And results are Maidenhead 1, Southend 2, Oxford City 2, Eastleigh 5. And of course, York City 1, Oldham 1. Kidderminster 0, Gateshead 2 is now confirmed as a full-time score as well. And in National League North, results Alfreton 2, Banbury 0, Boston 2, Darlington 0, Chorley 1, Tamworth 0, South Shields 2, Scunthorpe 1 and Spennymoor 2, Warrington 0. Latest scores, Brackley 1, Kings Lynn 3, Buxton 2, Gloucester 0, Curzon Ashton 1, Peterborough Sports 2, Farsley 1, Blythe 0, Hereford 1, Chester 1, and a latest score as well is Scarborough Athletic 0, Southport 1. There is 7 minutes of stoppage time to be played at the Flamingo Land Stadium, so anything could happen still in that game. Elsewhere this evening, regarding North Yorkshire's sides, I can tell you that Tadcaster Albion against Silsden has finished in the League Cup as 2-2. So that will be decided by a penalty shootout. So eventually that game gets played. And we still don't know what the result is just yet. In the Northern Counties East League First Division, Amthorpe Welfare 3, Selby Town 2 is a result. And the latest score that I saw was Parkgate 2, Harrogate Railway 0. Harrogate Railway 0. We will let you know, of course, when those scorelines are confirmed as full-time results. Let's have a brief look, though, at the tables. Just in the National League, 2 games to be confirmed as final scores. Aldershot 1, Barnet 0. Bromley 2, Dagenham and Redbridge 1. So looking at the league table, I can tell you that it won't affect anything regarding York City that this evening. So York City are up to 16th in the table with 39 points. But because of results beneath them, they are now just a point above the bottom 4, even though they've moved up a place in the table. Dorking are on 38, Woking on 34, Kidderminster on 33 and Oxford City on 28. Quite a big weekend ahead. York City, they travel to Barnet on Saturday. Barnet are in third place, trailing 1-0, it seems, in their game this evening, if that's right, against Aldershot by the look of things. Yep, Aldershot are leading Barnet by a goal to 0 at the moment. Elsewhere on Saturday, it's 20th against 21st as Ebbsfleet take on Dorking. Just goal difference separating those two. Woking play Wealdstone. Woking in 22nd, Wealdstone in 19th with 38 points. So very, very tight, and anything could happen over the weekend with those fixtures at the bottom end that could affect York City. York City up to 16th though this evening with 39 points. Well, we can go straight back across to the LNER Community Stadium after that draw this evening against Oldham. 1 apiece it finished. Let's return to David Ward.
Thank you, Sharon. We've been joined by Neil Ladley, who's quickly popped up to talk to us here on BBC Radio York. A hard-worked, hard-fought point for your side, Ian. For Neil, I would say.
Yeah, I thought they came for... They showed a bit of respect. They had a really big, strong team. That was my only concern. You know, we had a couple of sort of diddy men and pace and all that lot, but we knew that set pieces might be a problem. But we wanted to try and attack the game. You know, we started with a 4-3-3. I thought at times it worked really well in the first half. And then I was just thinking just before they scored, actually, I was just thinking, right, come on, now's the time to put a second forward on and have a little crack at it. And then obviously they scored. It's typical every time that thought comes into my mind. And obviously, it's just a little bit of a one-off mistake, and we have to accept that and we move on. But we bounce back like we did the other day. Oh, I can't ask for any more from the boys. Yeah, we might ask for a bit more quality at times and this and that, but, you know, we're going into the final third. They're giving everything.
Was it the kind of game you expected at the start of the evening?
They're a team of men. You know, that's why they've picked up as of late, and they're strong. They're a team of men. They know their jobs. And obviously the front two are a proper handful. We know that. I thought in the first half we managed it well. I thought second half we got a little bit straggly at times. But by and large, we defended really, really well. And obviously, just if we don't have the one slip up, then it's just that one goal you might need, which I was just thinking of throwing on a second striker for.
Clearly, the goal is a bad goalkeeping error. George must be quite relieved that he did get the point at the end, because it had been terrible for him.
Yeah, listen, he's a great lad. I wouldn't have, you know, I've said before, there's no blame culture. We win as a team, we lose as a team. You know, everybody's working really, really hard, and I thought the atmosphere, I thought the fans, I thought everybody was brilliant today. Yeah, we've got too many draws, we know that. Yeah, we're not picking up the wins we want to pick up. I just said to the lads there, I feel like we're peaking in our fitness, in our work ethic. If we can just keep it going, and then, you know, add that little bit of quality, and one or two players hit the ground with their finishing, and I think we can climb up the table.
And again, we've seen how important set pieces are. Did you always think that the chances though tonight were going to be at a premium, just because you couldn't use the long throw, could you, tonight? Because that takes one of your big centre backs, and then you have to send Callum Howell up.
Yeah, we weren't as big a team. You know, I could have gone like, well, they're going to be big. Let's keep Crooksy in. Let's go with the, you know. But we just said, look, let's, you know, we thought they might play a back three. We played a 4-3-3. We went through both playing against a 4-4-2, which they were, and a 3-5-2, and we worked on it yesterday in training, and we wanted to try and get Billy and Charlie in them areas, which I thought we did in the first half quite well. And then as the game wore on, you know, the nerves creep in. But I did think last 20 minutes, I thought it was two teams trying to win the game. I didn't feel like, you know, I'm looking, we're saying, come on, let's go, keep going. You know, we just didn't want to get counter-attacked, but we were trying to win the game, and I thought they were too.
You look happy with the point as well tonight, which is good to see.
You know
the way I mean.
Yeah, no, I want the three. I'm not. You know, today we were desperate to try and get 3 points today, even though we knew it was a tough game. I'm really pleased with the performance. I'm pleased with the effort. I'm pleased with the camaraderie. I'm not pleased with the result, because I did think if we could have not made a slip up, I do think that we had a goal in us.
You found it hard at times to get the ball out to Charlie Allen. I think we saw in the first 10 minutes where he beat the defender on the far side, what real pace he does have. Is that something you're going to have to try and improve on in the coming games?
Yeah, I've got to use Charlie as and when he's just come in from 21s football, so we've got to, you know, pick our time. Same with Finn, who's come in, played 2 games on the trot, was very tired. We've got to pick and choose how we use them. I'm not afraid to rotate. As you saw, I thought Lenny played really, really well on Saturday. Was a real catalyst up top for us. But Lenny, it's hard for Lenny sometimes to go Saturday, Tuesday, so we have to freshen up where necessary. I came and watched Charlie play for Leeds here against Chelsea earlier in the season, and he was the one player I took from the game. Chelsea had some very good players, but he was the one player that caused Chelsea numerous problems, and I marked him down in my head. So when we were looking for pace and someone who can run with the ball and really try and take people on, he was one that sprung to mind.
Because that's one thing this side has been lacking, I think, all season. Well, you'd probably agree.
Well, we know that. Listen, we've been lacking a lot. I don't think pace is just the only thing. Listen, you look earlier in the season, I had one fit centre forward. I had nothing on the bench. We had probably a month of that. You can't. That's hard to do. But there's a lot of things we lack. But the one thing we don't lack is effort. The one thing we don't lack is team spirit. And it's taken us a couple of months to get there, but we are, and I'm frustrated we haven't won today. Fans will be frustrated. We're drawing our way up the table, but we've just got to keep staying competitive, and hopefully, if we play like we have done again today, the draws, we can nick the wins we need.
You mentioned injuries. The makeup of your bench tonight suggests you may have more injuries. Is that the case, and why I had a substitute goalkeeper on there?
Yeah, well, again, George was carrying. He was very sore after Saturday's game. And if I think there's any doubt, him striking a ball and him starting to feel something, Stocky's bruised his ribs in training, so Stocky wasn't fit. So Rory come onto the bench. Obviously, Depot, we know. Kai Kennedy had a sore behind his knee. So, yeah, there is a few on top of it. But with a bit of luck, Depot can get training back end of the week and we can have more options.
So there's a chance you think he could be fit then for Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, there's a chance. I mean, the physio said to me it was a lot easier today, so it's in his back. It was very sore in the early time. I couldn't risk him today. But let's see if it settles down and he doesn't sit around on his backside and keeps himself moving. Then hopefully it can free up and he might be an option.
Was that a blueprint then, what we saw tonight for some of the games you've got coming up against the so-called better sides in this division?
And in what way? In blueprint?
Well, the way that you knew you were going to be combative all over the field, but you maybe weren't going to be able to create as many chances because you didn't have the big guys up front if Depo's not available to you.
Yeah, we just, it was a home game, We wanted to go to a back four to try and play with wingers. Charlie come in his first game, and I thought I wanted to free him up by playing him up in a front three where, when you're in a four, you've got to tuck him in midfield a bit more. So we tried to put him up in a three. So, yeah, I mean...
It was a team with legs, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a team. We had a little bit of pace. We thought on turnovers it might be... Listen, Barnet are a big, strong, powerful, athletic team. You saw that when they came here early in the season. So, my next job tomorrow is to sit down, watch Barnet, look at my bodies, and you have to put it all together as a jigsaw to say what's the best way we're going to have a chance of getting a result. And
do you look at that table tonight and think, wow, it's close?
I haven't looked. I honestly haven't looked at that.
1 point above, but there's so many teams now who seem to be involved.
I haven't looked. I think, we're 3 wins and a couple of draws away from getting to the target that I kept going on about. Whether that's enough or not at the moment, we don't know. But we've got. Can we get 3 wins and some draws in our next 12 games? I think the way we're playing, I'd like to think we can. It might not feel like it because we keep drawing, but we're certainly competitive.
Thank you. That's your Deputy Manager Neil Ardley live on BBC Radio York.
Cheers, David. Thanks, David, and of course, thank you to Neil Ardley for joining us this evening. Let's have a look at what you've been saying then after that 1-1 draw for York City. Starting off on Twitter at BBC York Sport. John Lewis changed that for the... I'll start that again. John Lewis changed that for York. Good point against a good team, says Mozza. Credit there to John Lewis. I'll tell you why I'm saying that in a second because I had a mixed review. Mike says, 6 words, well played York City, good game. If the lads play with that intensity, then we'll be absolutely fine. 110% from now on. Enjoyed that. Alan, a great debut, set the standards tonight, says Mike. Chadwick as well, much better. Carl says, now that was a good point against a very good team. Match them for 94 minutes. Well done, lads. On to Barnet. And Muzz says, a good point in the end and possibly slightly better performance, although I'm not quite sure why Ardley's left our best player from Saturday on and our best centre-half on the bench. 3 holding midfielders at home as well and wondering why we can't score more than 1. Thank you for your comments. Moving on to the text. A huge step in performance. Next up, 3 points, please. That's Lee and Simon, who are going back to Green Hamilton. Simo says, my 5-year-old actually thinks we're called York City 1. But hey, what a great gutsy performance. Would take that point all day long against an informed Oldham. JJT says, didn't see the first half stream, but had Radio York. Would have taken a draw going into this. 2 points, long balls, complete waste against a big side, and Linnell John Lewis's touch and passing ability largely absent. Sticking Cordner up there would have been a better option, says JJT. In contrast, Stu in Whistler in Canada says, once again we concede in the early second half. Thought John Lewis made the difference. Allen looked very quick, but I can't see the benefit of Chadwick. He seemed a passenger in that game. Sykes Kenworthy's error, against us, cost us. Nice to see us trying to win it rather than sitting back. Thanks, Stu. Sam in York says much better from City. Solid and fought for more or less everything all night. Clinical finishing and cutting out errors will see us safe. York City turning up against the better sides. It's a classic. And Mel and Sally say that they're down from Aberdeenshire tonight to watch the match. The lads played well. Shame we didn't win, but a well-earned draw.